Alright, let's get ready here. It always feels weird streaming after a while of not doing so. Hopefully you're all doing well. Just checking to make sure everything looks good here. And yeah, this is going to be a very laid-back stream, I think. I say as we're playing what's, known as one of the more difficult games on the NES, but I'll never understand people who get like super frustrated playing video games. It's like, isn't that what you do to relax? If it's stressing you out, why are you playing it? Hello, David Ray. Long time no see. Thanks for stopping by the stream tonight. Please let me know if everything sounds okay. Hopefully there's no like feedback on the microphone from the sound coming from the TV, and hopefully all the volume levels are good. And we'll just wait a second here before we get started. You were about to timestamp a video, but this works too? Ugh. Yeah, sorry to interrupt everyone's probably far better plans than watching someone play this absolutely ridiculous game. This is a really silly game. I've been working on it for a couple of days now, and I've made it to the final boss. Now, last time I did a stream where I thought I would beat a game on stream, that being Double Dragon 3, even though I had previously made it to the final boss, it just kicked my butt so hard that unfortunately we still did not get a victory in that stream. It was a couple hours after the stream. Sometimes what you need to do is just kind of step away from the game, take a bit of a break. I came back and still wasn't like the next try or anything like that. Still took a few tries, but I finally got that one down. Kind of figured out the strategy at last to beat that final boss. But we'll see if we can figure out this game tonight. Just like the real Dragon's Lair, like it's so weird. Why did it need an NES game? Why does everything, need an NES conversion? And then whenever they do that, it becomes a platformer. Everything on the NES is platformers. But yeah, this is just a really weird game, but a lot of it is memorization, and since I've pretty much memorized everything up to the final boss at this point, hopefully, fingers crossed, I've probably just jinxed it, we won't have that much of an issue getting back to the final boss on a somewhat consistent basis. And when you can do that, it's not a long game. The length comes from kind of figuring out all the stuff, and then once you figured it out, it's not that hard. But another couple minutes. The real question is, did Don Bluth work on this game? Well, according to, everything, Don Bluth's Dragon's Lair, there's like a, information screen it keeps showing. I'd assume he had something to do with it, but he probably didn't, program it. I wouldn't think. Yeah, I hope you're all having a great evening. And there's all the high scores there. Singe is the final boss. I don't think it's possible to beat that score. It's weird how, inconsistent it is from the rest of them. I guess they thought it was funny, but this is a game where if I beat it, I'm done. I'm not going for the top score. But with that, just another couple seconds here. Just confirmation that all the levels are good. No one said that they're not, so I'm assuming we're probably good to go. And alright, and what you also might notice, I shouldn't point this out because you'll notice it the whole video now, is that there's a shift to the right a little bit in terms of the graphics, and that is just the game for whatever reason. I didn't notice it until I started got my streaming software set up as well, but for some reason everything's kind of pushed to the right a little bit. It's not centered properly. That's not my fault. It is totally the game's fault. Write to Don Bluth if that bothers you. Complain to him. And the sound is fine. Very good. All right. I think we're probably just about ready to go then. Now this game gives you an option of 1 or 2 players. I have no idea, I'm guessing it's not simultaneous play, so they for some reason added a Super Mario Brothers style multiplayer in there, and you can turn the music off if you don't like the music, but honestly, this game does not have the worst music, so we'll probably leave it on. This game is probably most famous from being featured in an Angry Video Game Nerd video a decade ago, and I haven't watched that video in several years. It's something I plan to go back to once I beat this game, so I don't want to watch it now. Whatever he says in that video might influence the way I play the game or something like that. So I usually, if I play a game and I remember that the AVG ended the review of it, I'll usually check it out after I played the game. I do remember that in that review, though, he spent a lot of time stuck in this room. And honestly, it's not that hard of a room, but it is kind of silly, the way that it works. And overall, Dirk here, he's pretty slow, pretty clunky, not the most responsive controls. The way that he jumps, kind of funny. And yeah, that's the game, pretty much, right there. That's the first room of the game, anyway. A lot of things in this game are instant death, like those stones that guy's throwing. You'd think that we have a health bar in the top right there, so those stones might take off a little bit of that bar. Nope, they are instant death. So you really need to be careful sometimes. This guy shows up. It's like the Lizard King or something, and if he touches you, he steals all of your gold, which is like not really that much of an issue because I do not care about score whatsoever. But we'll still avoid him anyway. But yeah, touching these doors, instant death. So we don't want to do that. And then these snakes will appear sometimes. Again, touching them or the rocks that they shoot is instant death. Items are represented by letters inside of squares. It's weird. This game is very nice visually, but then they like really cheaped out on the appearance of the items for whatever reason. Just kind of represented them with letters. So you gotta remember what each of those letters stands for. An E is health, so that's why you want to grab that. There's so much to explain about this game. But pretty much, you walk along, don't get touched by anything, because almost everything is instant death. Remember where snakes appear, because otherwise you're going to walk into them, and it's like, that's why this game is just so much memorization, because you need to know where all the enemies appear, where the floor is going to give out, and, you're not going to beat it on your first try, that's for sure. Okay, so that guy touched us, and he stole all of our gold, but I don't care. I just do not care about gold at all. It's not like if you get 100 gold, you get an extra life or something like that. If it was tied to extra lives, then I might care. But because it's not, I don't care. So it's weird because there are a lot of things that kill you instantly, and then there's things like those bats where you can just like touch a million of them, and all they're taking off is a little bit of health. But still it adds up, so you don't want to touch too many of them. And another thing you can do is press start, and sometimes items will appear. And in that case, the F appeared, which means that we can now throw fire. And we want that for the first boss, which is coming up right now. And the first boss is snakes that come out of the wall. In case, we've already seen enough of those. But the way it works is that 4 snakes appear on both the left and right sides of the room. And it's really intimidating at first, because it just looks like they're surrounding you. But if you realize, just deal with the 4 on the right, then the 4 on the left, and then you're done. That's the first level down. I mean, technically, the thing outside isn't really considered a level. It's more like an introduction thing. So that's kind of the main first level. And then it brings you to an elevator. And you have an option of different routes to take on the left and right. One of these leads to the next level. The other ones will take you back. Like, one of these will take you right back out to that drawbridge, and you have to do it again. I'm not kidding. So, when you talk about artificial length and difficulty in retro games, that is pretty much the most blatant excuse of it right there. Literally, pick one of these 4 doors. If you pick the wrong one, you're going back to the beginning of the game. Enjoy. So that's just another example of, like, we know the answer to that, so thankfully we don't have to deal with it. And it's overall not a long game. It's like 4 main levels, so we're already almost halfway there. And the first half of this game is, like, super easy compared to the second half. So kind of, sit back and relax during this half, and then the next half, we're going to be screaming all over the place. So these platforms here, you have to walk while you're on them. If you stand on top of them, you think, okay, it'll just carry you to the other side of the hole. But it doesn't work like that. You have to walk along as the platform moves. It's really silly. And that was our first death. Thankfully, there are checkpoints in this game. And that's an example right there of getting our first one. Is the video still playing? I just want to kind of make sure about that. Also give me a chance to kind of check some comments here. Hello everyone, this is not Dungeons and Dragons. It's weird, there are like 4 advanced Dungeons and Dragons games on the NES. I've never understood how you convert Dungeons and Dragons to a game. It's not like you just play the board game in the NES game. It's like their NES game interpretation, I guess, of stuff that happens in Dungeons and Dragons lore. I'm not even going to get into that today. But we are playing Dragon's Lair today. Just let me check the comments here. Hope you're all having a great night. Deckard K9, you missed my channel. Thank you. I know I haven't done too much with it lately, but thank you so much for checking out the streams and such. Still kind of want to make sure I get some content going out here. And I'm definitely not like saying I'm never going to come back and do more, console reviews, game reviews and stuff like that. Just kind of enjoying, just playing some games from time to time right now. And yeah, thank you so much for joining the stream and for remembering that my channel exists. One of the worst NES games, says Gerald. Sorry, Jared. The SNES version is not much better. And it's so weird. Dragon's Lair has such like an interesting following, and then again, it's such an iconic game, but then they always tried to make these like console spin-offs that had nothing to do with the original. It's really strange. Diego, hello. All right, so let's just see here. And I think we'll continue back. So what I normally do here is like If I can go through that one, I just kind of make a run for it. And this level has our first extra life. Unfortunately, I would have liked to have gotten a life before our first death, because lives respawn in this game. So if you get a 1-up and then you die, you know, that 1-up will still be there on your next life, and that can be a good way to, like, die, get your health back, and then just get the 1-up again. And there's also this weird thing right here called the Dragon's Breath, I think. It's the only place it appears in the whole game. It's so silly. It had to have, like, a whole page in the instruction manual dedicated to it. And the way it works is when you're inside it, you just mash the B button and then you ascend, and you can kind of go to the right. So I just got a 1-up there. I pressed start and it appeared very briefly on screen, but you'll see we're back up to 5 lives when we were just at 4. And like we could die now, and then it would come back again in the next life, which is really nice. Use that as like a trick to get your health back, like I said. And there's a couple other lives we'll pick up along the way. But overall, you know, the more lives we can get in this game, the better. So another mechanic I need to mention is the lantern mechanic. And again, it just turned dark right here. It's the only place in the whole game where this happens. And pressing start turns on the lantern, and that bar at the top left represents, I think C is like kerosene. So, you know, it's C pickup right there. That's how long we can use the lantern for. If you memorize kind of the pattern here, you can turn it off for a little bit. But you're going to want it on when you get on this platform. And just let the Lizard King run into you, take your money. Absolutely nobody cares. Save some lantern while we're waiting for the platform to come back. And again, you gotta walk on the platform as it moves. You cannot just stand on it. So second boss here, we got guys inside of minecarts throwing rocks at us, which are of course instant death. So you kind of need to stand just far enough away to the point where you can throw your weapon back at them. It's kind of an awkward thing to time. It's hard to time like the first time they pop up, but the second time they pop up is a lot easier to time. So let's see here. If you jump the second that they go back into the minecart, usually you'll be good. But otherwise, there's no time limit in this game, so you can kind of just, you know, take your time. And these guys take like 5 fireballs each. There's 3 weapons in this game. The dagger, which you start with by default, and it can also be given back to you by picking up a block with a D in the middle of it. There's axes, which is a block with an A in the middle of it. And then F stands for fireball, of course. And the axes and fireballs are more powerful than the daggers. The fireball is slower than the axes, but I find that they're more powerful in some situations. But typically the axes are pretty good. But in this case, the you know, you can't hit them too many times anyway before they go back down. So there you go, one guy down. And then we need to slowly kind of scroll the screen to the right to get this guy onto it before we can do any damage to him. So he's there. And this one's a little bit more difficult to hit. Usually I stand in his line of fire and just make sure I jump over his rocks that he throws. So like, jump as soon as he goes down, and we got a hit in on him. Just a couple more times, I think. There we go, and walk to the right, and that is half of the game complete. Once again, back to an elevator room where pick the wrong one, you could be replaying that level all over again. Enjoy. No, so the first exit you take is the second level. It's like the second like level of the elevator, but you know, it's the second, I guess, exit that you get to. Now we're going to be taking the third one. So that's 2. And this is an awkward jump too. It's not like a gimme. It's like you gotta make sure you time this jump properly or you'll die. Alright, halfway through the game, like I said, this is where the difficulty really picks up. Let's check out the comments one more time. And just grab a drink here too. So far I've probably made this game look not too bad. It's really awkward to control if you ever actually play it. The controls are super weird. So this level introduces these skull heads here, and they will constantly move up and down, shooting at you. The way it works is if you hit them with your weapon, they will stop moving, but after that they will never ever start moving again. And of course touching them is instant death. So you need to make sure that when you stop them from moving, that they are high enough that you can walk under them, just like that. Wait for him to shoot, and we'll go. And there you go. So that's one of the gimmicks of this level. The other gimmick is these rotating pendulum things, which of course touching them is instant death, but doesn't that look nice? Like for an NES game, this looks super nice. Those things are evil and I hate them, but they look really well animated. I gotta do some awkward ducking and jumping in this level. This is a game that's not, it doesn't feel good platforming in it, but it requires you to do a lot of platforming, and I kind of just fell to the floor there. Which is always lots of fun. So there you go. We got 4 lives left to try and deal with this, and you got a 0 life, which is really nice. So we technically have like 5 more tries as of now. not including any 1-ups we might pick up along the way. And yeah, that's this level. This game is like so slow. It's weird because I think the European and Japanese versions of this game, everything's kind of sped up, which is kind of weird. Like, I don't know how I would feel about things just being faster. Like, it's already, like, fluid enough. It's just a matter of, like, you know, it kind of feels like I guess it takes forever to get anywhere. So we're going to press start here, make that energy appear. I'm going to jump back and grab that. And I'm going to jump back to this little ledge and up to here. P stands for points, which, again, we do not care about in the slightest. You cannot avoid getting that A. Like, you just kind of fall off that platform and you get it. So now we have axes, which is fine. Better than daggers. Now, what is the trick here? So this one, let that go by here, and we're going to do a little jump here, and that's that. Actually, shoot, I forgot to get a 1-up. There was a 1-up back there that I forgot about. Because it was invisible, and I had to press the start button, and I totally forgot about it. But, you know, assuming we'll probably have to do another run-through of the game, I'll remember it next time. This is a really evil platform, because there is that kind of piece of the ceiling hanging down, so you cannot just jump to this platform normally. You have to time yourself perfectly that you hit that little ledge hanging down and then drop onto the platform. It's just an awful thing to time, but typically if you jump when it's in the middle there, you'll hit that ledge and land on it, and we just got a checkpoint. So at least if we die in a really stupid way like that, we'll start right here. It would have been nice to have that extra life, but I guess we'll make do. But yeah, this is a not so great feeling part here. This whole level feels awkward. And yes, sir. So, as you just saw, it kind of forced us to get that D power up, so we're back to having daggers again. This game, unfortunately, does that a lot. Where it'll put a dagger power up where, like, you can't avoid it, and it's like, oh, that's great, you know. I had this great power up, but the game just forced me to lose it. It doesn't have to be as mean as it is sometimes, but this is, like, a really awkward thing. You gotta, like, dump chuck. Alright, well, you know, you get the point. And you gotta do that, and that. And that takes practice. Hopefully he's high enough up I don't hit him. Oh, barely, like a pixel to spare there. And here's a life, L. Thank you. Alright. Almost there. So you don't want to be crawling here, because if you're crawling and the floor gives way, you'll fall. So you got to make sure you stand there and walk across. Press start here, and A will appear. We got our axes back. And go here. So these platforms are really weird. When you land on them, they stop moving. And if you don't position them properly, you won't have enough distance to make it to the hole, to the gap, the other side of the gap. So do a thing like that, and then we got to stop this guy from moving. Okay. Now, they will shoot 6 times before pausing. So, wait for the pause, and then we'll count 6 after that. And we hopefully can make this jump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And big jump! Alright. Now, I kind of forget. This is I usually just kind of wing this part. So, you can just barely stand here without dying. So that's kind of what we got to do. I'm going to jump, duck, jump, duck. This game does not feel made for doing that sort of thing, and yet it forces you to, so hooray. Another guy here, we kind of just got to freeze him in space. Good enough. Alright, and this one looks like it shouldn't feel too bad, but it does. It's so easy to fall between the platform and kind of, you know, the moving platform and the still platform. Like why? Like, why did he just fall there? There's no real reason for it. So, thankfully, that is a checkpoint. So, just hold right, get back to this point here. Don't get on the platform the first time it comes to you. It's the next time. And then it will time properly with the skull on the other side. Alright, just keep on walking. I hope I have the axes. Here's the next boss that you can cheese by using the safe spot. Stand directly under his hand and he cannot shoot you. Oh, I love NES games. And now 8 axes to the face and he's dead. Just gotta do tiny jumps. There we go. And that is level 3 down. And don't, you know, lose focus because you got to get off on the first exit on here. And this is the final level. The final boss is at the end of this room. That is how quick you can get to the end of this game. But this is not a freebie by any means. This is going to be pretty tough, I think. Let me just check out the comments here. Tuxedo Worth, hello. Just wondering why this game? Because I have too many NES games, and at some point I got to beat some of them. So this one was the one I picked off the shelf to play today. And honestly, it's not the worst. It's like, you know, it could be a lot worse, I guess. People always say that like Star Tropics has a stiff control scheme, and I don't notice it at all because I've played that for so many years and gotten used to it, but it kind of turns people away. And honestly, when I started playing this game, I thought the controls were really bad as well. But the more I play it, the more I get used to them. And I honestly don't think it's that bad. Like, I just beat, you know, 80% of the game, you know, pretty effortlessly. And that's just what practice does. So, you know, if people stuck with the game a little longer, I think people would like this game a little more. But it's an awkward game, I cannot deny. Like, you put this beside Mario 3 or Mega Man or something, you feel the difference for sure. But I don't by any means think this is like the worst game. Now I say that this level is gonna be a thing. So these guys hatch from eggs, and they are instant kill. And the way it works is they go to like a height where you can hit them while you're ducking. So you kind of got to be ducking when you attack them, and if they either shoot you or touch you directly, you die. So that's not really so fun. And also, this guy will still show up sometimes to try and steal your money, which is actually really nice, because when he does that, any sprites on the screen disappear. So if he does that when one of the eggs hatches, then the guy will disappear, and it'll be really nice. Let's just get back to here, though. Okay. And if you don't have axes, that A will give it to you, and that's kind of the last axe power-up of the game. But what's really evil is that there is still a dagger power-up after this, which will take away your axes and completely destroy you. You know, because you cannot beat the final boss. It's just, I'm not convinced that you can beat the final boss if you end up getting the dagger power-up, which they place almost right in your way and kind of force you to get. You have to keep the axes. So we're going to try our best to do that. So far, so good with these guys. He's kind of got to get closer to those eggs, hatch them. And again, the Lizard King appears, and then since the egg hatched while the Lizard King was on screen, the dragon will appear after. And that gives you a great chance to get some distance before they start coming after you. Because again, they're instant kill, so you kind of just really want to get your distance there. Okay, we're almost there. Get down into ducking position. Ugh, probably took an extra step I shouldn't have there. Okay. Did I screw that up? Nope. Oh, Lizard King's coming. Which is the only good part. Like, if you have money, the Lizard King will appear and try to steal it for some reason. Like, it's not that big of a deal if you lose your money. But it is nice because when he does that, it will wipe out all the enemies from the screen. Let's try and not screw up this jump. Okay, so this is the most evil part of the game. As I said, there's no more axe or fireball pickups after this point, but they put a dagger power-up right there before the final boss, and if you touch that, there's no way you're ever going to kill the final boss. So we have to somehow land on that little ledge in front of it and get over it, and then get to the final boss. But before we do that, we still have one mini dragon to deal with, I think. I think if we jump from like here. Okay. Okay. And I accidentally fell off the edge because that's it. You gotta kind of stand like right on the edge and jump. But he likes to fall off the edges, so it's not so great. We're doing this part again. I think I screwed up that jump. No, I didn't, but I definitely did not want to make another jump towards that guy. But the Lizard King saved us. by getting rid of the... I always thought they looked like Dragonites appearing out of those eggs. It's really weird. But yeah, this is not the funnest part of the game for sure. And then you have to fight the final boss. And the final boss is not made for the controls in this game. It requires split-second platforming and all sorts of other fun stuff that does not in any way match the slow kind of gameplay that Dragon's Lair has. So get ready for that. If we make it to the final boss here, which is still up for debate. Nope. Like... You cannot move when you're in the air. It's Castlevania style jumping in a way. So like you jump up, that's it. You've jumped up. So just kind of trying to do really precise jumps doesn't particularly work so well. Like it doesn't feel that bad when you're doing more general jumps like we just did there. But when you're really trying to land on like the precise edge of a platform, good luck. Unfortunately, we have 0 lives left, so whatever happens, we got one chance now at the final boss. If we get to the final boss. But I mean, hey, if we end up getting there, all you need is one. Like, ugh. Don't touch the D. Don't touch the D. Okay. Alright, now if we can just get over the D, we can fight the final boss. And the last thing we need is the Lizard King doesn't matter now. Even if he takes our money, I don't care. This is so lame. Why did the developers put that there? Like, the only reason they could possibly have put that there is because they wanted you to be like frustrated. Okay. Okay, some deep breaths here. This is the final boss. Gotta get into position here. Again, the final boss is like, it requires split-second jumping and ducking and all this other stuff. Does this guy look like he is in any position to do that? Any kind of shape to do that? No, not any whatsoever. He shoots kind of 2 different attacks. One that's higher, one that's lower. You can duck under the higher one, jump over the lower one, try to do anything else, you're dead. He also has the dragons that we've just seen here coming out of his stomach constantly. And they will continue to try and to, approach your direction. So you have to try and kill those guys without letting them run into you and insta-kill you, without touching his insta-kill attack, while also throwing axes at his head. Here we go! Final boss of Dragon's Lair. One chance. And he's just gonna kind of beam in, and we have to immediately get to the left to get as much space from him as we can. Okay. What is that? Okay, so this is one thing I haven't mentioned to this point, but the pausing in this game is like instant. The second you press select, it pauses. And another thing that lets you do is it really kind of lets you slow things down here, as if the game, just in case the game needed to be any slower. And lets us see, which kind of shot he's shooting. And in this case, he shot the one that went down. So another interesting thing about this game is that the way this game unpauses is by pressing any button that's not select. Oh yes, that's another thing I'll mention should, we have to play through the whole game again. I'll have to have stories ready for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to immediately press the jump button to unpause the game while also holding the A button to throw axes. Just like that. Now, which shot is he doing now? Another low one, huh? Normally, you want him to do at least one high one, because that's how you get on the ground and then attack the guy coming at you, because otherwise there's nothing you can do about him. That boss would be so easy if it wasn't for the little dragons that come at you. But you have to somehow find an opportunity to kill the little dragon while also dodging the attack that he shoots, while also doing damage to him. Anyway, our name will be and that was our first attempt, which, could have been a lot worse. And hopefully it only gets better from here. I probably just jinxed it. Let's see what the comments got. The only thing impressive about this game is the graphics. Otherwise, it was a huge fail. Trick Sprite is too big, cheap as heck, deaths, overall horrible experience. It's not the best experience for sure. but it's probably also not the worst experience I've had. There's some pretty bad ones. I probably like this game more than Darkman, so there's that. Why don't you want to hit the D? Because the D would have reverted my axe weapon back to the daggers that you have here, and the daggers are weaker than the axes. And those little dragons that we were attacking will take 4 hits with the daggers instead of 2. So now imagine trying to do that final boss and defeating the little dragons that are coming at you, and now they require 4 hits instead of 2. It makes an impossible boss fight even more impossible somehow. So one thing I didn't mention during our first run is that right off the bat, you know, I talk about how people are maybe too hard on the controls of this game, but then there is a massive thing that's, how do you even get this wrong? By the time this NES game was released, there should have been standards. A button is jump, B button is attack. But no, in this game, A button is attack, and B button is jump. But in case that's not bad enough, the select button is pause, and not the start button. Instead, the start button is the lantern button / the button that makes secret items appear. So yeah, not only is the game kind of janky, but they also got all the controls wrong. Like, not even just A and B, but also start and select, so... Whew. But yeah, so that was our first run through the game. And honestly, I'm kind of impressed that we made it to the final boss in that run. Because there was a point there where it didn't look like it was so good. But I have a good feeling that we're going to beat this game tonight. I do. It's got to happen. So see here, I have the axes, and they put this D in a spot where it's pretty much unavoidable, and now I'm back to the daggers again. I don't know why they thought that was a smart thing to do in terms of game design, but they did it, that's for sure. And this is also an awful jump. It's important to realize early on that holding down B does like a super high long jump, and just tapping it does a smaller jump. It's very important to differentiate between those when necessary. And again, there's a secret item here you have to find by pressing start. So you can kind of just mash start all over the place, but then that bar at the top left decreases each time you press start. So it's not something you can do like infinitely, but it's not too bad. So there's the 4 on the right, and then the 4 on the left. And that's that level. And again, we want to take the second exit, because taking the other ones will like make us replay the level we just did, take us all the way back to the drawbridge. Not so fun. So once again, there's a couple power-ups here. Try and get some energy before the bats inevitably kill us. Again, if I can get to that 1-up, then again, like I mentioned, I can die, get all my energy back, and then get the 1-up again. And it's kind of like, you know, starting fresh, which is really nice. These awkward platforms that you can't just stand on, you have to walk on. Always fun. And we get this dragon's breath thing here, which I don't know why. Like, again, they had to dedicate like a whole page of the instruction manual to explaining how this thing works, where mashing V makes you go up. It's like, why? Why did they even put that in? So there's an extra life. And there you go, up to 6. And there we go. And again, this is the only part of the game where like the lights go out for some reason. So you gotta press start to turn your lantern on, and it will gradually decrease at the top left up there. So once you understand like the layout, we can just turn that off and save it. And you just took all of our money, but nobody cares. First one down, and that's the one that for some reason it feels easier to hit without being in the direct line of fire. But for this guy, I always feel like I kind of got to stand on that square on the ground there, where he can hit you, in order for me to hit him. It's really strange. There you go, 4 hits. Thought it was 5, but I guess maybe sometimes I thought I was hitting him and I wasn't. And we don't have any gold at the end of any of these levels to kind of get like a point bonus from. I can't imagine many people played this game with the goal of getting a high score. They probably just wanted to make it to the end. And that's definitely what our goal is here today. But this time we want to take the 3rd exit here. And alright, already back to this level. I probably should have taken my own advice back in that last level, where we could have died and gotten some energy back. But we'll probably end up dying here anyway. There is a spot to get some energy up here, though, if we can make it to it, without taking another hit. Like, literally, we have one little sliver of health left. And also, I found that sometimes in this game, when you throw a weapon, you'll lose health for some reason, so that's always fun. Don't ask how I just managed that. So I think the one-up I forgot last time is actually right here. There it is. This is a checkpoint, so if we die now, I'm not too concerned, because we probably will. Just on account of like getting a skeleton to the face or something, that's not really avoidable otherwise. Which is too bad, because this is like a really good run, too. Oh, I think I died because I threw a weapon. See, like, for some reason, just randomly, sometimes when you throw a weapon, you'll lose a sliver of health. I'm not sure why. He like sprains his arm or something. Ugh, this guy. This guy. So you want to stay ducking here, and then you want to jump and hit this guy, duck again, walk. Stand in the middle here so that when you jump you don't get hit by the other guy. There you go. Keep walking to here. Get this one up. Do a little jump here. Keep going. Duck! Oh, I was duck. So that's a situation where like he moves so slow. I was holding duck there, and yet he just was not doing it. Okay, this is another checkpoint here, which is nice. And so you get this D here, but remember, immediately after press start, you can get the axes back, which is nice for the boss. And this is a really awkward part here. That should be enough to get the gap to the other side. We just gotta stop this guy. Oh, I just can't hit him. Alright, there we go. Now, he'll shoot 6 times and he'll stop again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sandwich yourself in here. Ugh. So this game overall has pretty good hit detection, but those pendulum things, sometimes they're kind of questionable. But otherwise, the hit detection in this game I find is not too bad. Unfortunately, that means we have to do this really awkward part again. Oh, I never got the axes back. Okay, interesting. I was just saying not to forget about that. Yeah, I'm kind of tempted to go back and get them. Because if we make it to the boss with the dagger, we could beat the boss with the daggers, but then it will make the beginning of the next level really difficult. So I think we're gonna, unfortunately, have to sacrifice a life there to remember to do this. Hopefully that's a good decision. Hopefully that's enough distance. No. Oh. Three, 4, 5, 6. Alright, and the final obstacle before the final boss, rather, the boss of the level, which can be cheesed, which is always nice. And that really awkward spot right there where you fall through for some reason, even though it looks like you shouldn't. So for here, you hold right, end up on this platform, and don't ride it the first time it comes to you, it's the second time, and you'll be safe if you make it to the other side. And got jammed there somehow. Yeah, they put these platforms in that like you have to carefully walk onto, but they don't make it easy to to get onto it, that's for sure. And jumping is just a disaster because we know how slow this guy is when it comes to jumping. Okay. There we go. Now let's just not mess up the boss. Stand directly under his hand, get any closer and you'll die. There you go. Let me actually have gold this time. I'm not used to having that. Usually let the other guy take it. But it's good to have it for this level anyway. Then that Lizard King will show up, hopefully helping us. But okay, here we go. Careful here. So even if we accidentally, didn't bring the axes to this point, we could still grab them there. And oh, we just didn't have to defeat that guy because this guy decided to show up. I don't get the whole Lizard King thing. I know that like if he takes your money, there's a way to get it back, but like why? Who worries about points? And that was just my bad. I should have gone back to the left side and not dealt with that guy. Yeah, these dragons are pretty awkward to have to hit. Pretty weird. Because yeah, they take 2 hits with the axes, and sometimes it feels like you get your 2 hits in on them, but then they don't die. So it's like, well, there goes everything I just tried to do. Okay. Oh. Yeah, so in this case, the Lizard King is like awesome because he just makes those guys disappear and you don't have to deal with them. Because I will much rather lose the money that I don't really care about than have to fight these dumb dragons. Oh, once again, saved by the Lizard King. Very nice. Well, that's the last time he's going to show up then, because he just took all of our money. Oh, well. Is that going to make it? It is. Okay, so here we are at this part again. Nope. So yeah, you need to make like an immediate jump back to the left, and it's really tough to do without accidentally falling into the whatever it is. I guess it's water, purple water. If only that P was an L instead, that would be so awesome for an extra life. That was everything we didn't want to happen in one. We got the D. We died. Oh boy. So we got even less points than the last time somehow. But yeah, that's Dragon's Lair on the NES, and it's just a big mess. It's basically like tearing off a band-aid like super slowly, so you get all the pain in there, and then when you get game over, it's like putting it back on and like starting to rip it off again just to get that pain back. Yeah, this game's kind of a slow, painful mess. And there's parts of it I really like that right there, dying in the first level, absolutely wonderful. Which I'm actually going to be back in just a second, and I will answer the questions in the comments. But yeah, hopefully you understand that I'm like right there, and hopefully, a couple more tries we'll get it down pat. But yeah, it's not the easiest game, that's for sure. And if I do beat it, I definitely want it to be one of those things that's on video, because no one would believe you otherwise, I feel. But anyway, I'll be back momentarily. Alright, and we're back. Thank you so much for waiting there. Let's just get caught up with the comments here. Christian, hello! Hope you're having a nice evening. You don't think there was ever a Dragon's Lair show? It would have been one of those things that's kind of like, you know, easy to turn into one. I guess. It was already animated. But alright, so let's see here. So back for another run through the game. So one thing we need to get good at is, you know, jumping in tight spaces. Because that's kind of what that, you know, last moment of the game comes down to, with that, you know, dagger power-up on this extremely, you know, tiny platform. You have to stand on, like, this you know, barely stand on the ledge. Like, why did they do that? If that wasn't there, that ending part would be so much easier, but just having to deal with silly things like that. Because when you press B, you jump. If you're not pressing any direction, you jump straight up. If you're pressing one of the other directions, of course he jumps in that direction. There's like a brief second after you press the B button, where if you press the direction, he will still jump that direction. But it's very brief. And I feel like that's what you have to do in that situation, because if you accidentally press the D-pad first, he'll like walk off the edge, as we also saw. Ugh. This whole game's like one big bizarre equation, and you gotta get it just right. So press start here, get the axe. The axe here isn't really all that useful, because you lose it soon enough to like an almost, you know, required dagger power up pretty much. Let me just get the microphone back here. You gotta know where the snakes are gonna appear, like this guy here. And this energy power-up's always nice to get, just to, you know, fill the little bit that we've lost, but you want to wait until this guy is shot first. But the Lizard King guy just keeps showing up. I don't know what makes him show up, like, if there's a rhyme or reason to his pattern. I'm always afraid he's gonna mess me up, though. But in that last level, he's definitely welcome, all the time. Whatever, take my money. Whoa. I thought my timing was going to be bad on that one. Get the fire power up here. And we're at the boss. Which again, the boss is just 4 snakes on both the left and right side. So just deal with the right side first, and then deal with the left side. It looks a lot more concerning than it actually is, once you kind of figure out exactly what's happening. And there you go. That is the first real level down. Once again, do not take the wrong path here. It will send you back to have to replay one of the 2 levels that we've already done. Not fun in the slightest. Take the second exit here. Oh, I was sure I was going to miss. And, like, there's no time to turn around and hit that guy behind me. Like by the time you turn around and try to attack an enemy, they're just going to hit you anyway. Which is why sometimes it seems like I'm just, you know, meat shielding my way through everything, because there's almost no way to hit half of these enemies without taking damage anyway. To try and, you know, do anything about it will just end up hurting yourself more. So we're going to do the strategy this time where we pick up the 1-up and then die intentionally to get our full health bar back. I didn't do that last time, and I kind of regretted it, so we're going to do it this time. And of course, the 1-up is just on the other side of this weird dragon breath thing. We gotta mash the B button like it's Mario Party. Alright, so start, 1-up, fall in the hole. Let me just check on the comment here for a second. Oh, there was a TV series. Interesting. Yeah, Dragon's Lair, it's been like ported to pretty much every single console these days. It's just one of those things. There are so many series now that's like every time a new console comes out, all the games in it will be ported to it. Ace Attorney's kind of become a series like that instead of just make new ones. They just port all the Ace Attorney games to everything now. I can't believe that in Japan, like every single Ace Attorney game is on phone. Is that the same in North America as well? I know at least Investigations 2 is also on on the phone in Japan. But I don't know if we have, like, all the other ones here. Maybe. But, of course, the joke used to be, like, you can port Doom to anything, but it seems like there's a lot more series these days that end up on every single platform other than just Doom. Ooh, I thought I had timed that poorly. Wait a minute, wait a minute! I think I forgot to get the extra life after I died. Ah! That's so silly. The hope is I should have 6 right now, I think. I don't think I died otherwise, except for the intentional one. So you're supposed to intentionally die, get your health back, and then get the 1-up again. But darn invisible items. NES games really like, invisible secrets. Even the Mario games are obviously, guilty of that with 1-up mushrooms, but that's fine. It's like, I guess 1-ups can be invisible, so I can't really be complaining here too much. But I hate invisible items. You're just kind of like jumping around everywhere trying to find things, pressing start all day. Seems like a cheap way to hide things. When you don't have any better way to hide things, just make it invisible. I guess that's Miyamoto's first rule of game design, probably. Second rule of game design is turn everything into stickers. All right. Yeah, timing the first hit on that guy is weird, but the second one's easy. So there you go, another boss down. The only thing impressive about this port is the graphics, and the graphics are so nice. Like, honestly, like, yeah. Graphics is definitely number one in what this game has going for it. I like the music. I don't think the music's that bad. Like, this elevator soundtrack, I'm going to be jamming to this all day on my iPhone 2. What was the second iPhone called? It was the iPhone 3. Was it called the iPhone 2? I don't even know. My first ever smartphone was an iPhone 4S. And then I went to Android after that. I feel like, I had to have an iPhone to know that Android was what I really preferred. Because everyone went on about iPhones back then. And it was like, your first smartphone has to be an iPhone. And I feel like iPhone's a great way to, like, get into smartphones. And then I feel like everyone goes to Android after that. I mean, obviously some people don't. Or else they wouldn't sell so many iPhones, I guess. Ooh, I didn't think I was going to make that jump. Walk into the wall, get pushed back a bit. So here comes another one up here, if we don't forget about its existence. And that takes us up to 6. It could have been 7, but we'll make do. So these two are at different speeds, and it's like, there's nothing you can do to line them up differently. They'll always be kind of positioned the same. Oh, no, 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 no. I screwed up that jump. But thankfully, if we can get back to that 1-up again, without dying before it, there's like no net loss. It's like, it all evens out. So we'll try our best to do that. Alright, since we got the 1-up back, no real loss from dying. Very nice. But yeah, this game requires a lot of awkward platforming, and it's not made for awkward platforming at all, but the game sure likes to give you a lot of it. And that's kind of like the Force D, so we're back to having daggers again. I don't know why they do that. Nothing worse than when, like, items are just as evil as the enemies. Oh, I missed. Oh, I missed. There we go. Okay, hopefully that's high enough. By like a pixel, I did it. It's funny how often that happens. Okay. That. And yeah. That one moves so slow. But we got a 1-up. So as long as we can get back to that point, there's no real loss. What are the chances of that, right? This guy you kind of just speed by. Don't pay too much attention to him. Duck. Jump. Duck. Alright. I think we did it. Get that back. Very nice. Very nice. Get by this guy. Okay. Checkpoint. And don't forget about the axe. After you're forced to pretty much get this D, you can get your axe back. Okay, that's a great distance to make this jump. 1. Actually, gotta wait for the pause and then we'll start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Big jump. And even though you just barely clipped that roof there, thank goodness, or the ceiling, thank goodness it still counts. All sorts of fun platforming there, even though the game is not made for it whatsoever. And the final gap before the boss. And, like, I don't know. I don't know what I did wrong there, but the game didn't like it. Okay. Wait, did I count? Okay, I screwed that one up. Let me check the comments here for a second, actually. I haven't checked them in a little bit here. It's funny. It's like, you know, some people start out with the iPhone, then they go to Android. They start Android, they go iPhone. I mean, maybe they stay both the same, you know, the whole way. It's funny how just like, you know, there's always like 2 to choose from. It's like kind of Windows, Mac, and now there's Linux too. I mean, I say it like it's a new thing. You guys hear about this thing called Linux that just came out a couple days ago? No, it's been around forever now as well. Of course, not as common. It's one known fact. Huh. Yeah, phones are crazy town. That's why we are playing retro games. So you don't gotta worry about none of that modern technology. And then that's also why we kind of fall into the hole there. I do not want to lose all of my lives again before the final level. But this part is just so awkward. It really is. It doesn't feel good at all trying to get onto this platform, which is weird because there's platforms in the last level that don't feel as bad as this one. I'm wondering if there's like something behind the scenes that's not as obvious about, you know, the detection, or rather the okay, that's just my fault. The collision's just not as good. But yeah, this is just bad. I hate this platform. And so it's not this time. It's this time. Okay. It doesn't look that hard, but there's just something about it that's like really, really finicky. I don't know why. Perfect. I don't know how you beat this boss if you don't do this. This is just kind of a trick I figured out. When you've played enough NES games, you start to realize that most bosses have like an unintended safe spot. So you kind of just search that out. I have not found one for the final boss. I really wish there was one. But I so far have not found one. So we're I guess we're just gonna kind of keep trying to do it legit. But here we go, final level once again. No, you're supposed to duck. You're supposed to duck. Okay, guy's really scary. But tell me I'm wrong. Don't they look like Dragonite? Little mini Dragonites. Here's the last axe of the game. Oh. Yeah, when this dragon guy shows up, or the lizard guy, and defeats the enemies for you, how can you complain about that? Okay, just careful here. And again, it's like, thank you. Alright, we've lost our money now. We're on our own. Okay, so I gotta try this. I gotta get better at this. If I press B and then right, okay, so that case it worked. That case it didn't. That case it did. Oh, shoot. Okay, well there goes pretty much any chance we have of beating the game, unfortunately. I guess I just wasn't close enough to the edge. I did a perfect jump, but we have daggers now, and the reason it's pretty much impossible to beat the game once you get daggers is because, as you'll see, these guys take like way too many hits to kill with them. Okay, doesn't look so bad there, but when you're fighting the final boss, I swear it will look a lot worse. We'll try it though. We'll try it. Yeah, like, it takes 4 hits instead of 2. So in the final boss, when, you know, we need to get those guys dead quick, I can't imagine this is going to go well. That time, like, I didn't even move and he collected it. Doesn't matter anyway now. And see, that time I threw like 3 at him and he didn't die. But if it was axes, he would have. The fact that they put a dagger pickup, like, right at the end like that is just so evil. Like, this game didn't have to be that evil, but they went there. They decided that they were going to be that evil. And that's what happens when you lose your axes. So for anyone wondering why you don't want to touch the D, that is what happens. And you got to start all the way from the beginning again. Hooray! Motorola phones usually have a gimmick when it comes to selling them. Yeah, Motorola phones don't normally seem too bad. They're like, I know someone who has, I think it's like a Moto E. It's kind of like a more budget phone, and that's not bad. Like, you know, instead of buying a really expensive phone, you know, every, I mean, I say like every 5 to 10 years. See, I'm still using as my main phone the Galaxy S6, which it blows my mind how, I guess, you know, quote unquote old it is at this point. I think I got it in 2016, so it's going on like 6 years old. And I don't have any really, real desire to upgrade. But if I bought a cheaper phone, like the Moto E, you know, I could see buying a new one like every 2 or 3 years, just because it's not really that expensive. So if it, you know, if it breaks or something happens to it, it's not that big of a deal. But I'd be afraid to buy like a really expensive phone. because it'd be so easy for something to happen to it. Alright, here we are again. Going through the corridor. I was wondering where the guy was. There he is. Oh. We're getting closer, though. We're definitely getting closer. That last run, unfortunately, ruined by picking up the daggers. And, wow, these snakes, if you don't remember where they are, or if you're not paying attention, they just appear right in front of you. And again, pretty much everything in this game is instant death. Even though you have a health bar at the top right, pretty much everything kills you instantly. Except for, like, these general bats. So I kind of just, meat shield my way through them. Because in so many cases, trying to do anything about them just results in taking more hits. Alright, fire for the boss coming up. And here we go. So let's deal with the right side first. And then we're good. And that's I guess, it technically feels like the second level, but the instruction manual calls it the first level, so it's hard to know what to refer to it as. There we go. And I'm not sure how I was supposed to avoid that guy there, but again, taking all my money is not the biggest issue we got here. So it's all good. And this time we're going to remember to get this one up, die, and then get the one up again, because I totally blew that one last time. So mash that B button to get across here, get the one up, and then into the hole. How come this game wasn't a childhood favorite? No, it was most certainly not a childhood favorite. My first time ever learning about this game was actually seeing the Angry Video Game Nerds video about it all those years ago. And it just kind of caught my curiosity. I'm like, I'm going to beat this game. And honestly, it's not that difficult. It's, like I said, like way back at the beginning of the stream, the first two levels are like super simple. The third level's pretty tough. It's definitely like the longest level. And then the fourth level right there is just like, it's frustrating in a way. But I feel like I'm just so close. So close. We should be able to get it done. And people are always playing the more well-known NES games, the Mega Mans, the Marios, Kirby, Zelda. I think it's time to play some of the lesser, more obscure stuff. Honestly, I don't think this game is like that terrible. But, I mean, obviously, if you put it beside some of those other games, it doesn't look so great. This is just such an awkward thing that they put in for no good reason. You like this channel for the weird games. Well, thank you. I've always liked, touching on the more obscure stuff, whether it's more obscure hardware, more obscure games. It's just, there's so much cool stuff out there that just people don't touch on. So I'm happy to be able to touch on that a bit too. There was also an NES game about the Three Kingdoms. Yes, there was Romance of the Three Kingdoms. There's also Bandit Kings of Ancient China. There are quite a few strategy games based around ancient China, for sure, on the NES. Ugh. I don't like where I'm standing here. I feel like if I'm not in the air, I probably will take a hit. So let's just get this guy done with as soon as possible. Perfect. I don't think I'm close enough to be hitting him. Maybe. As we get a little bit closer. There we go. So how many people here have played the original Dragon's Lair? I was thinking about how I'm playing this game and I haven't ever beat the original. And I realized I have it for Sega CD. I'm like, I should probably play that once I'm done with this one. Of course, I know of the original Dragon's Lair. It wasn't the game that I grew up with. I never, unfortunately, saw the arcade game. But I feel like it's definitely, you know, something you gotta play through at one point. It's silly I haven't done so to this point. But yeah, the Sega CD version I can't imagine is too bad. I mean, it's probably like, you know, that little square in the middle of the screen in terms of video, but I'm sure it'll be awesome. Alright, checkpoint! And here's one of the trickier parts of the level. This whole level is like, the first time you play this game and you haven't gotten used to these levels, this level is really intimidating because it goes on forever. And like, it just feels really awkward platforming with all this stuff. And that F, you might be wondering why like I never get that. It's just pretty much impossible to get without dying in some way. And even if you get it and then you die, one really nice thing about this game is that if you have a power-up and you die, you still have it afterwards. But at the checkpoint before that, there's a dagger power-up like place that you can pretty much not avoid, as we'll see right now. So picking up any power-ups doesn't really help you, unfortunately. Like that D right there, I have no idea how you avoid that. It's probably not possible. Like, it just seems like they put it there to filter out any weapons you might have, which is really silly. I pressed... So another thing about this game is that I was holding down there, but I was ever so slightly holding right on the controller, and that's why he kept moving right. So you gotta just be like, if you want to duck, only down. Down and only down. Ugh. Yeah, those things have kind of weird hit detections, and that one moves so slowly too that it always messes up my timing. Speaking of weird timing, how about this platform? Yeah, I was holding down there. This game, kind of slow, kind of unresponsive at times. It's kind of unfortunate. And again, I've mentioned that I think the European and Famicom versions of this game are like faster. I would love to try those after this. I think that would be so weird playing through this entire game like this and then trying those out. Hopefully that's high enough. Let's get this one up. Perfect. Duck, duck, duck. Whoa, I was like, last second I could have ducked. And again, you saw it happen there where I was holding down, but he was moving to the right instead. It's not fun when that happens. All right, axe power up. Almost there. Hopefully that's good distance. That's not a good height for that guy, but hopefully it's good enough. You never played the original, but you thought Princess Daphne was the sexiest arcade character ever. I mean, that was it back then, right? It was always like the guys rescuing the princess. I guess that was probably what they thought would, you know, get people to play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, perfect. I think I mentioned in my last stream how you just don't see the hero saving the princess trope too much anymore. It's like Mario and Zelda still do. I mean, not even Zelda anymore. Zelda's usually not like, rescuing Zelda is not usually the main point of Zelda games anymore. But Mario, of course. And I mean, heck, I want Mario to have different stories, darn it. Like, I love Mario Odyssey, but again, it's just a Mario saves Peach from Bowser thing. I'd love to see them do something different. The Paper Mario games were always great for that, but we know what happened there. Yes! Yes! Wow. Shouldn't get too happy. Let's not screw this up. The one time I do so well, and it all gets taken away. And I screwed that up too, because I got so excited I didn't wait for the right time to get on the platform. Oh my gosh. There's just those moments when it's like just one thing goes wrong and then everything goes wrong. And now I'll screw up this platform somehow. Wow, okay. So I lost 2 dumb lives there, which is par for the course. I thought I was enough under his hand. Okay. Like, I don't know what the difference between where I am now and where I was before is, but yeah, if I go like any closer, even though it doesn't look like it, I'll die. So that's why it's pretty specific. There we go. I think this is the most lives we're taking to the last level, but if you accidentally get that dagger block, the whole thing is ruined because there's no way to get your axes back. So that's kind of like an instant game over block, unfortunately. But here we go, final level. Drum roll. It feels awkward having to like go back so far before you attack that guy, but Otherwise, he's just way too close. Surprised we haven't seen the Lizard King guy yet. Maybe because he already took my money in another level, he won't show up now? I really don't get that guy. Like, I have 17 coins. You figured he would want to take them. Oh, here he is. Speak of the Lizard King. And again, like, okay. Ugh. I love when he gives you that, like, extra moment to get back. Now he's just getting annoying. Is this the bad jump? It is. Okay, so I think this is where we want to be. So see, I definitely pressed B before I pressed right, but I don't know if there's like some frames in this game when it just does not accept input or what. But it for some reason moved me to the right before it jumped. The important thing is that we still have our axes. Where's Waluigi main game? Ugh. I hope you all are having excellent evenings. Thank you so much for stopping by the stream. Hopefully we can get a victory soon. Like, again, I pressed B. I really did. I really pressed B first. It's not that hard to press B and then right, and I swear I'm doing it correctly. Ah, jeez. Okay, so, like, let's just practice this. Let's just practice this. Because otherwise, it's like, see how he does that, like, step to the right first? I don't want him to do that before I jump. But if he doesn't do that first, then it's like a crapshoot of if he's actually going to go to the right or not. Like, see, that time I did it. Like, ugh. Like, there's just like it's like a frame perfect input to press B and then right. But see, that time he walked to the right instead. Actually, that's right. Let's see if we can figure this out. When you press select, it pauses the game. Pressing any button other than select unpauses the game, right? All right, Andrew, think. How can we incorporate this into a jump thing? Okay, because if we press select, and then we press B to unselect, it jumps. If we hold B, press select, and now hold right, aha! Aha! Okay. Actually, I mean, I guess it doesn't even have to be a pause thing. We could just jump. But then, if I want to do a small jump, okay. If I want to do a small jump, how do I do that? Okay. Let's think about this. Select. Okay, and then maybe when he's crouched, now if I hold B and press right. No, he still walked. Usually he doesn't walk when he's crouching. Weird. Okay, maybe he does. Okay, it's got just a little bit more. We're figuring out the Krabby Patty secret formula here. Jumping. Or maybe hold select. Okay, holding select, I press B, and then I press right. Nope, didn't work. Okay, maybe select. I'm going to hold select and then press B until he crouches. Okay, now. And now I'm going to press right. No, still okay. Okay. Select. I'm going to press B. Like, Like, see how I'm gonna press. There's something really weird about this game, and it's like how the frames progress. If we assume that if I'm holding select, and then each time I press B is like 1 frame, notice how the bubble won't even move every time I press B. Like, I'm gonna say B as I press it, so 1B, 2B, 3B, 4B. See, on the 4th B press, the bubble disappears, so like, it's like the game's not even 30 frames per second. It's like 5 frames per second or something. It's so weird. Thank you so much for the subscription. Hope you're, enjoying the stream. I'll have a look at the comments here. Why is this game so hot? It's really weird. Okay, I feel like we're right there, though. I feel like we're right there. So, the game is paused. I'm going to hold select. I'm going to press B 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to hold right. No. Okay. I'm going to hold select and press B twice. And now I'm going to hold right. No, it didn't even... But see, I just pressed B twice and it didn't even register the jump. Oh, there has to be a way. There has to be a way to, like, surefire every time jump exactly where I want to jump. Like, if I hold select and I just tap to the right, I can do, like, really slight movements, right? Like, that's the equivalent of that, right? Okay, so yeah, you can press select and then just, like, the direction once. Interesting. I'm just putting all these pieces together. I probably should have figured this out beforehand. Hopefully you find this interesting. Probably not. How do you just do... like... Like, that time, I was able to get them at the exact same time. Oh, this is just so awkward. Okay. So maybe this select kind of helped, huh? Okay. Okay. So being in select kind of like a failsafe. Like, he won't walk off the edge. Because it's paused. And now I'm going to press B and right at the exact same time. Oh, he moved forward instead. Okay, it seems to be more reliable if you do it when you're paused. Nope. I say that as I screw up like 4 times. The important thing, though, is that it's the jump back that's scarier, not the jump there. Oh my goodness. I do all this, we probably won't even get back to that jump. I'll probably have to replay the whole game again or something. Okay. I think we're at that awkward jump now. Nope, one more egg. Was that a bad jump? No, it's not. Okay. Okay. So what's the trick for doing a long jump now? I wonder if I can just jump over this dragon guy. I'm actually really curious. If I just... I did everything wrong. Absolutely everything wrong. After all that, this whole run is ruined. My goodness. Why did they put that dumb block there? Ugh. Ugh. Apparently there actually was a Game Boy version of this game, I think. Or at the very least, a Game Boy, like, Dragon's Lair game. I'm not sure how that works exactly. But whatever, this can be a practice run for this, I guess. So we're gonna put our heels right here. Like, there we go. That's all I had to do last time. Like there, if I had just done that. I think we've got it figured out though. But the thing will be, I have to remember all this if I get back here, which I probably won't. Like, see how many hits that guy takes to defeat? So in other, but here's the, ugh. So basically, the way this boss works is that when he shoots high, you have to duck. When he shoots low, you have to jump. And you can only attack him when you're jumping. And trying to jump between attacks will just result in you dying. I'm actually doing better at defeating those little guys than I was expecting. But it all comes down to luck. Because if the pattern's not good and you can't get into a good position to kill the little guys, then it's like, you're just done. Like, please don't shoot down. He shot down. And then by the time I was able to react to that, I got hit. And that's the final boss, everybody. That's what we're trying to beat here. And with axes, it would have been more doable. But still, it relies on, like, luck of his attacks. And being in a position where you can actually do anything with them. Ugh. But we are so close, I feel, at this point. We figured out how to do pretty accurate jumps anyway, which is kind of nice. I don't need to worry about not touching that anymore. We've already lost it. What are the upgrades the Sega CD version have? The Sega CD version, I would assume, is just like the normal version. Full motion video. Wow, and of course that time he shoots down twice in a row. And that's what happens to that. So we're gonna try that again. And hopefully this time get to him with axes. And I think we've learned how to jump in this game. It's not something I ever thought I would spend, you know, that much, you know, of my thought process figuring out. But hey, I think we've got it now. So let's try this one more time. Super seriously this time. I think we've got all the pieces. We just need to put them together. And that darn dagger block right at the end. Like, that's just such an evil thing for the developers to do. Like, if you get that block, your chances of winning are just, like, cut so significantly. I'd be curious to see, like, again, I don't usually look up things like speedruns and all that until I've beaten the game. I'm really curious to see how people play this game. Like, what kind of tricks they use. I'm assuming nobody beats it with the daggers, because why would you? Like, see how weak the daggers are? I threw all those daggers and he still ran into me. The fireballs are great. Fireballs will probably be really tough to get to the end. And I don't think they're that much stronger than axes that it's worth it. Axes should be good if we can get to the end with them. I think we had like one attempt earlier with the axes. And that was before we took a whole course in jumpology. So hopefully, knowing what we know now, we can more consistently get to the final boss. Do you think Super Mario Land is part of the main series? Like, it's so weird. Like, what is the Mario main series? Like, if it starts with Super Mario, I mean, I guess if it starts with Super Mario Bros, maybe. But then you know, Super Mario World wouldn't be part of the main series. I mean, it is called Super Mario Brothers 4 in Japan, I suppose. It's a very, very complicated question you've asked there. But I would personally put games like Mario Land 1 and 2 as in, like, you know, essential must-play Mario games to, you know, experience Super Mario Bros. I wouldn't just call it like a spin-off, would I? I don't think so. But then where does Wario Land come in? Because technically Wario Land is Mario Land 3. It's a very loaded question. But if you don't include games like Mario Land, then what does the main Mario series consist of? It consists of, you know, Mario 1, 2, 3 World. But then what about Mario 64? Again, if your requirement is that it has to be a Super Mario Bros. Game, then even Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy don't, you know, qualify, right? So, I would say in that regard, Land should be considered part of the main Mario series. Because if your thing is like, oh, it's portable, then, like, you know, where does New Super Mario Bros. 2 come in? Honestly, does anybody consider New Super Mario Bros. 2 part of the main Mario series? Probably not. I honestly really liked it. I really liked that they brought back the original raccoon power-up. You know, being able to fly around like with it was really fun. I can't stand the watered down raccoon power-up in, like, the 3D World games, where it just floats around and doesn't actually fly. And it looks more like the Tanuki suit, and they still call it the raccoon suit. That's like a massive pet peeve of mine. Oh. Almost made a mistake there. Jack Green, welcome and congratulations on hitting over 200 PS2 games. There's a lot of great games on the PS2. Hope you're having fun collecting for it. Almost done with your hiragana and katakana. Just need to finish up double consonants and double vowels. You'll move on to katakana. Very good. Anyone interested in learning Japanese, definitely check out hiragana and katakana. It's a really good litmus test for, like, if it's something you'll find interest in long term. Because it pretty much encompasses, like, everything you're going to be, you know, learning in regards to Japanese. A little bit of writing, a little bit of how, you know, characters work. Will help you get your, you know, vocabulary up there. And if it doesn't interest you, then studying Japanese long term probably isn't for you. But alright, back to the third level here. And let's see what we got going on. So that's the first pendulum. Again, a very slow one there. Oh, okay, so I was trying to test out our new jump technique there, but I held down the B button too long and he smashed his face on the ceiling. And Dirk hitting his head on the ceiling is not like Mario hitting his head on the ceiling, where he'll still keep his momentum. No, this guy just drops like straight down like a rock when he touches the ceiling. So you don't want to do that, but I guess we'll, you know, sacrifice that life. Woo! There's a 1-up. Nope. Too late, but as long as we can keep picking up that 1-up, you know, it's not really any major loss to us, which is nice. So let's just get back there again. I really like the 3D effect that those rotating kind of pendulums have. Like how it gets, you know, like it looks like it gets closer to the screen as it gets into the center there. It kind of becomes bigger. I really like that. Again, as we've discussed, this game is just so nice graphically. But gameplay-wise, it definitely could use some improvements. It's still not the worst I've played on the NES, though, that's for sure. Alright, back to this part. And that should be a checkpoint. Very good. And if you screw up the first hit with this guy, it's not so fun. But okay, we still managed to save it. Very good. And here's a 1-up. We can get it. There we go. There you go. I think we just reached another checkpoint. Almost at the end of the level now. This part's not fun. Nope. Oh, maybe. Maybe I can still do this. Let's wait till he stops shooting and then we'll count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Points, more points. I'm not sure that there are any more worthwhile items to pick up after this point. Oh, I was supposed to hit that guy. Hopefully, where's that going to send me back to? No. I kind of forgot that guy was going to appear. I was so like in the zone, I kind of forgot about him. And I forgot about that hole. Don't you hate when one mistake costs you like all these lives? Bah. Do I have to even duck under this thing? No, I don't. Okay. It's okay. I will happily take 5 lives to the last level. I will not complain about that. This should be a good distance. I just gotta wait for him to stop shooting again. And 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, yes, I forgot all about that guy. And then by the time I realized he showed up, I was like, wait, how am I supposed to deal with him again? But no, that's what you're supposed to do. And it's this next guy. We can just walk right under him if we can get this on our first try. Otherwise, he appears automatically if you use the checkpoint here. Yeah. That's just such a weird little gap. So you hold right here, and now we gotta wait for, not this time, but the next time we can get on the platform. Perfect. Okay. Now can we get to the safe spot without screwing it up? That's the next question. Yes. See, like, it looks like he should be hitting me, but he's not. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Instantly duck, couple axes. I'll read the comments here. Secret Scout is the worst NES game, says McLovin. One I'll have to try. I own it. Don't remember too much about it. But I don't deny that, you know, it's an unlicensed Color Dreams game. Probably not so great. I believe it was Color Dreams, or was it Bunch Games? Or what's even the difference between those two again? I don't know. Gotten some good games for PS2 like Def Jam Fight for NY, Silent Hill 2, Klonoa 2, Castlevania Curse of Darkness, and Godzilla Save the Earth. Very nice. Yeah, PS2 has some great games, and those ones that you mentioned right there, some of those pretty tough to get these days, so congrats on those. Jared, been watching me for several years. My wall of PS2 games is impressive. Thank you. Happy people, even these days, people are still checking out that video, so I'm really happy that people enjoy it. One of my most popular videos right now is actually a Super Mario Brothers cheat code video that I uploaded on Mario Day, I think in the year 2020. If you search Super Mario Brothers cheat codes, I think I'm the top result, which I think is kind of funny. Originally, that video was going to include cheats from Mario 1, 2, and 3, but I ended up simplifying it. I guess that was a good call. It's like the perfect length. I guess the algorithm just like picks up on it. And it has a watch retention of like 40%, which is pretty good. All the way through. Everyone wants to know how to get Small Fire Mario in Mario 1. Which, hey, I mean, it's a really cool cheat, so how can you blame anyone? And that's what I love about NES games too, is like unintended things like that. Like being able to become Small Fire Mario. That was never intended by Miyamoto. But it's totally possible. Just like, you know, the safe spot that I used on the boss before this. I love finding odd things in NES games like that. Okay, I think the next one is the Jump of Doom. Ugh. I'll read some comments before we suffer through this. Dual Hearts is a great PS2 game. Interesting. JRPG, neat. Okay, so from here. Oh, Mo! Oh, frick. Shoot. I got so excited I held down the B button, and just like that one pickup ruins your whole run, and that's just all our lives gone. Or rather, all of our axes are gone. Shoot. It's so evil that they put that right at the end, so that you're just gonna run into it. It's so mean. That is just so... And all the lives now that we have are just for nothing. Because, like, I don't know. We'll keep trying. But it sure would be nice to be able to take off twice as much damage with the axes. Like, I held down the B button like a dork. Like, that's all I had to do. It's not that hard. Like, I've got the jump down and everything. Nope. Like, that. Like, I could have had 3 tries of that if I just hadn't picked up that darn dagger. Oh. The people who made this game are evil. It's absolutely evil. Oh boy. Like, I'm so good at that jump now. And the fact that I just got so excited that I held the B button down too long and screwed it up. It's that little difference between doing a small jump and a high jump. And that time, ugh. Like, the fact that they don't even give you a chance to, like, get an axe again in case you accidentally lose it is just so mean. Because there is one earlier on in the level, but because of a checkpoint, you know, darn checkpoint, you can't go back and get it. It's like Super Mario Brothers. You can't go back to the left. It's kind of funny. I always find games like that interesting. But like, I've got this down to a science now. There was no excuse for that. Just no excuse whatsoever. And I still screwed it up. Like, look how perfectly I can do that. If I had the axes, there's no way I'd do it that perfectly. But I can do it that perfectly now. When there's not even any reason to avoid that. Oh, ooh. Just that one little step he took ended up screwing me up. Wow. Ah. Hello, Alan. When will I be going live again? I have no idea. Like, retro games are just like a spontaneous thing for me. I play them, you know, when I'm in the mood for them. And, you know, sometimes I feel like, oh, that would make a good stream. And then some other times it probably wouldn't make such a good stream. So, yeah, for me, I don't really have a good schedule in that regard. Kind of just stream when I think people will enjoy what I'm playing. And I guess it's kind of debatable. This could be like the worst game that I've ever streamed. It's not a long game. It's just a matter of, like, if you screw up that last part, enjoy losing all the progress that you made. And then you have to play the whole game again. That's the story of NES games, right? I mean, at least if there was, like, a continue where you could start at the level that you died at a couple times, that would be really nice. But this game doesn't have anything like that. And if there is a continue cheat, then I don't know it. So it is funny because the more you play this game, the more it feels like the real Dragon's Lair, where it's all about memorizing kind of the patterns and the order that things happen and what direction you have to press. This game feels so much like that. This game does end up feeling so much like, okay, now I have to jump, press B, duck, throw in that direction, turn around. And it's the same thing like every time. There's just no, whoa, that guy grabbed on by like his toenails, which he normally doesn't do, but I'm impressed in that regard. But yeah, this game, it's funny how it does feel like that. It's just repeating the same motions over and over and over again. The enemy, the enemy AI is always the same. The way that the things come down is always the same. That's how I know I can just kind of, squeeze pie that one without having to wait for that, other crusher there. It's always exactly the same. And this thing is still weird. No matter how many times I play this, I don't get what the purpose of this thing is supposed to be. We're gonna do the thing though where we grab this extra life here, and then we just lose a life to get our health back. The real Sean W. Stewart. Hello, not the fake one, the real one. Haven't seen me in like forever. Yeah, I haven't streamed in a little while. Hope you've been doing well. Hope you enjoyed the stream. You've been playing Wampum recently. It's a Mega Man clone on the NES. NES has its share of games that tried to be like Mega Man. And Wampum is a Mega Man-like game. I did not know that. I do own Wampum. It's an interesting... Oh, no. Interesting game. But yeah, I'll have to check it out more. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I recently played Bucky O'Hare. On the NES, and it's like a licensed game. Bucky O'Hare is apparently like a 90s Saturday morning cartoon, and it's made by Konami, and it plays a lot like Mega Man, and it is fantastic. Everything from the music, the graphics, the gameplay, the level design. Bucky O'Hare. It sounds really dumb, but if you've never played it, I cannot recommend Bucky O'Hare enough. I liked it more than Darkwing Duck, which is kind of the licensed game, the Capcom licensed game that everyone likes to compare to Mega Man, which is funny because of course Capcom made Mega Man, so you figure Darkwing Duck being a Mega Man-ish game would be really good, but I felt it was pretty okay. But Bucky O'Hare is where it's at if you're looking for a Mega Man-ish game on the NES. I always remember when I got Bucky O'Hare too. It's never been like a super common NES game. Today it's like, the hundreds of dollars. Back when I got it, it was probably almost $100, but I didn't pay anywhere near that. I was at a flea market, and I was looking through the guy's games, and we had somehow gotten into a conversation about how I was collecting NES games, and, I had quite a good number of them. And I said, oh, Bucky O'Hare, how much is that one? And he's like, what, you don't have Bucky O'Hare? And it's like, no, I don't. I don't think it's a game most people probably own. And he was like, it's $20. I was like, sold! I think he probably got it confused with Bugs Bunny. It's like, it was like, yoink! And that's the story of how I got Bucky O'Hare. Because, of course, when it comes to Bugs Bunny games on the NES, there's Birthday Blowout and Crazy Castle. Both being made infamous thanks to AVGN videos. Oh, shoot. Ah, boy. That's an awkward one there, but we'll get him this time. You really wanted to get your hands on Futurama for PS2 because you really enjoyed the Simpsons game for PS3. Simpsons Hit Run for Xbox. The game's too pricey. PS2 is that era where like every cartoon sitcom was having a game. You get Simpsons games, Family Guy games, Futurama game, all sorts of stuff like that. Very cool. Simpsons Hit and Run is like one of my favorite all-time like TV show based video games. It's just so good. For being like a Grand Theft Auto clone, it's just awesome. Oh my goodness. This is a way to farm gold, though. If you keep getting that one up, and then you keep coming through this part of the level, you can keep getting gold, but, like, who cares about score? I mean, I guess if you wanted to beat that score on the high score table, it's like the 89,000 one or whatever it is, I guess that's one way you could do it, but why you would ever bother, I don't know. Oh my goodness. I've mentioned it before, but we might have some people who weren't viewing in the beginning. The way that these moving platforms work is that you have to walk on them while you're on them. It's like the platform itself doesn't really move. It kind of just appears in different places. So if you don't walk as it's moving, you'll just fall off of it into the hole, and it's really dumb. Hey, I was able to get the life and land that time. That one's always fun when you can do that. Okay. Yeah, we're just farming gold here. That's totally what this is. And if you jump to get those, you're probably going to fall into the hole, so it's not worth it. Like, that's just silly. And, ugh. That's a silly death, too. And unfortunately, I didn't get the 1-up before that happened, so now we're, -1 life that we could have otherwise had. Yeah, this game just feels awkward. And the thing about it is that the more you play it, the more it's like, come on, I just want to get back to the part that I was at. So you start screwing up. And it's not so bad in the game like Mario that feels good. Like the controls are good. Everything about playing Mario feels decent because you're going to have fun while you're on your way back. But in this game's case, it's like, I get this level. I've beat it a few times now. The last thing you want to do is keep playing it to get back there. And it's not like some games, too, where it's like, there's more to learn along the way as well. I feel like I've pretty much got these levels optimized. It's just a matter of, dealing with the jank and working my way there, but hopefully eventually we can do it. So you have to have patience here. You can't just jump right into it. You have to wait till it starts going up, and then we can jump into it. But I need the life, though. There we go. There's pretty much nothing I could have done about that guy. He just took all of the money that we had collected. Because he showed up when I was in the middle of the platform that, you can't stop on or else you fall off of. So, not sure what the game expected from me there. Please let me know in the comments there if there is any kind of connection issue with the video. Because YouTube is saying that there is, but I don't see anything. All that farming on exactly all the thing that I just, spent all that time doing. Completely wasted. Some of the bats are red. I'm not sure if there's a difference between them. Okay, it's not. Like, it's just awkward. He didn't take it that time. I don't think anyway. Okay, no, he didn't. So this level doesn't normally take that long to beat, but I've just been screwing up this one run for whatever reason. Is this the run where I've already been to this boss once and then I got hit by the other guy? I think it was. So yeah, this is just a silly run, I guess, of this level. Couple more hits on this guy. Oh, one more, I guess. There we go. Alright, we gotta get this guy on screen. Bring it back. Then throw 2 rocks. Everything in this game has a pattern, though. So, like, 2 rocks, and then he disappears. So if you remember that, then, you know, it's not too bad. So, like that. And there you go. Phew. Finally got that done. Every once in a while it buffers. Yeah, hopefully it's not causing too much issue with the video, though. Thanks again, everyone who's dropped by today. I hope you're all having an excellent evening tonight. I know Dragon's Lair on the NES, probably not the best way to spend it. Some people like really hate this game. There's probably not too many people who really like this game. I've seen people say like, oh, you know, it's not that bad. You know, if you know, people don't like the Mega Man games sometimes because they're too hard or something. This game's not that different. I don't know. Mega Man is just like so fluid and feels so good. This game, it could be better. And again, I've heard that the Famicom and European versions have some improvements, and I will be so interested in trying them out once I'm done with this one. We gotta be getting close to a victory run here. It has to be coming. It's just the fact that at the very end there, they put that dumb dagger block that can ruin your whole run. Like, now I know how speedrunners feel when they get like right to the end of their run and something happens. Well, that's pretty much the speedrun kill block right there. Speedrun ruin block. That darn dagger. One up, very nice. That's a tough jump to make. That one always feels really awkward. But we got the extra life, so as long as we can pick it up again, we're not really any further behind. Plus, it gives us full health, so you know there's a little bit of a benefit there. Hands up if you can't wait for this game to come to Nintendo Switch Online. It's funny because for a long time it looked like they were done putting new NES games on there, and then in the last few months they've actually added some new ones, which is pretty cool. Not sure what made them suddenly decide to start adding those again. Of course, now the kind of thing is to add a new N64 game every month. Always curious to see what they pick next for that. I think Wave Race was the most recent one. They're getting some pretty good ones on there though, like Pokemon Snap. I feel like everybody said they weren't going to get the expansion pass, but then everybody does. Everyone always does that thing that they say they're not going to do. Honestly, to be able to net play some N64 games with friends in a pretty easy manner, it's decent for that. Oh wait, shoot, I'm supposed to jump. I'm so into this N64 online conversation. Forgot that I had to jump over that thing. And the longer you play, the more fatigued you get. It's an unfortunate reality of games like this. You start doing silly things like that. How come my last stream isn't posted? Because it was like 5 hours of Double Dragon 3 and nothing came of it. And I really didn't want people to have to sit through that whole stream, and then in the end, it's like, nothing is accomplished by the end. I didn't want people to suffer. And, ugh. Silly, silly, silly playing. Which is why I guess it's like, I think it's unlisted though. So if you get notifications, you should still be able to find the link to that. But I just didn't want to leave it up because I didn't think it was a great stream. It was fun for sure, but it wasn't what I had hoped it would be. Alright, here we are. Finally back to this part again. This never feels good, but there's worse parts of the game for sure. And I was holding down there, but he moved to the right instead. That's something I really like about the Joy-Con controllers, is that, you know, the up, down, left, and right buttons are kind of like individual things. So you always know exactly which one you're holding at any time, which is really nice. If you're holding down, you don't have to worry about, you know, it being a little bit to the right or something like that. It feels really good. Like, playing Tetris 99 with that is awesome. I have the Switch Online NES controller, and I really don't like it. It has a lot of input lag, which I thought, okay, well, you know, any controller is going to have input lag when playing, you know, online NES games on like an HD TV on the Switch. But no, I started using like my Pro controller and the Joy-Cons, and they feel way better. So I don't know if I just got like a faulty controller or what, but I cannot recommend that people buy the NES Online controller. And I really hope that the N64 ones and such aren't the same. Wow, this run has just been a disaster. One massive disaster. So the next run will probably be my last one, just because obviously if I'm getting worse rather than better, that's not a good sign. Hopefully we can end on a positive note. Hey, we got the life, it's fine. The only way you play Tetris 99 is with the NES controller? Interesting. Where is Pilot Wings? Yes. Yeah, the family plan's a great way to get the Nintendo Switch Online for like a discounted price. I hear a lot of people do that, which is pretty cool. Which is funny because it's like typically not even people in your family, it's just like friends connect around the world to do it. Which, hey, whatever works. But that's great, Christian, if you don't find the NES controller to be laggy. Maybe I just got a faulty one. Ugh, I hate when he shoots right when I do. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, first try on that one, okay. Now can we position ourselves properly in the safe spot? Probably not. Wow. What do you know? Perfect. And that gives us one life with barely any health left, plus one full life to try the final level once again. Hey, all it takes is one try to beat it, and like everything is instant death. during the final boss fight, so it's not like health really matters. I'm just worried about these bubbles. I guess in touching them, take off a bit of health. Yeah, I realized that was a bad move that I made. I should have moved back to the left. Well, I don't need to worry about touching the bubbles anymore anyway. I have enough health that it won't matter. After this stream, you're going to watch the AVGN's video of this? Please do. From what I recall of that video, he, like, makes it nowhere. But he does bring up some legitimate points about, like, how the game feels. Would have been cool to see him get a little bit farther, I think. But that's usually my plan, too, is, like, after I beat a game that he's played, I like to go back and watch his video on it, so if I beat the game, then I'll be watching that as well. If not, then tomorrow when I beat it, I'll be watching the video after that. I can't be far from a victory run now. But just, you know, sometimes it's just not the right time for it, I guess. Okay, here we go. One shot at this. Let's make it count. Why? Why did he miss? Not gonna get the D. The thing that we definitely don't want. And that's that run. Okay, so this is the last run. Final run. Win or lose. Winner take all. Loser take all. One last shot at this. Let's go. That darn jump at the end. Even though I figured out the equation, I did all the science, it still didn't work. Alright, this run we're going for a speedrun world record. Let's do it. Wonder what this what the world record for this game is, and if it's the European / Japanese version or the North American version, because that would make a difference if the other versions are faster. Let me just see here for a second. All right. So has anybody else seen that Sakurai is uploading YouTube videos now about game design? That's so fascinating. I was like, I just started getting all these recommended videos. And I was like, you know, who's uploading these videos about Sakurai? It's like, oh, it's literally Sakurai, you know, sitting in front of the camera talking about his game design experience. It's really cool. So check those out if you haven't seen them. He talks about Kirby and all that sorts of stuff. You don't know how to feel about it? Why? What don't you like about it? It's very interesting, right? It's like, it's very weird. That just kind of came out of nowhere. It's like, this is the last thing I was expecting to see on YouTube, but Can't complain. Alright, so far this run's not bad. Andrew still got those lab goggles on from experimenting with this game. Yeah, it's very, very complicated stuff. Don't try this at home. Don't jinx it, Andrew. You're right. You're absolutely right. I just hate that darn dagger block at the end. It can wreck your whole run over one dumb mistake. It'd be like if Mario 3 had like an instant game over, restart the game block right before the final Bowser fight. Like, it's just such a bad design decision. Oh, that's right. I normally take one for the team at this point. Get my health back. So let's do it. Oh. Well, you're kind of iffy about people who have made a success for themselves elsewhere and then go to YouTube and get an influx of people who watch them. Interesting way of looking at it. Very, very fascinating. I mean, in this case, I think he definitely has something to, like, offer. It's not like he's just, like, using his fame as, like, hey, guys, this is me watering a buffalo. Subscribe now for more videos of me doing the dishes. It's like, so it's like, you know, he's actually offering, like, you know, decent videos, right? So, about relevant topics. So, I think it makes sense. But I totally get where you're coming from, too. So many celebrities just like, hey, I have a YouTube channel now, check me out. And then they have like 1 million subscribers in like 3 days. That's kind of weird. I wonder what made him want to do that. Maybe like the only way they would unchain him from working on Smash Brothers is if he made some YouTube videos or something. I'm not sure. I don't remember if the videos had credits or maybe in the comments I forgot to check. Is it the videos have some very nice editing and stuff too? Like, is he doing them all himself? He probably has like a team working on them. And I'm not sure if they're through Nintendo or if it's just like he felt like making them one day. Like, I mean, just because he talks about Nintendo games, does that mean it has to be affiliated with them? I don't know. Speaking of Smash, do you think the series is finally over? Like any Nintendo series, it can never truly be over. There will always be another Smash game, even if Sakurai isn't involved. It's just one of those things that has to come out now on every single console, regardless. Like, he used to be in charge like the Kirby series, right? And then he took a step back from that, and now Nintendo does that. So, Smash Bros. Will come out for many, 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 many years to come. And whether that will mean just like porting Ultimate over now, or if someday they'll start from scratch again, I don't know. I have no idea how they will, deal with Smash from here. But it will definitely not be the last Smash Brothers game. Absolutely not. Unless, like, the Switch is somehow Nintendo's last console. But I'm assuming that they will at some point release another console. And then at some point there will, at the very least, be like a Smash Ultimate Deluxe kind of thing, which will probably be the next Smash game that we see. And then maybe like many years down the road, there will be like a true sequel. Oh shoot, supposed to duck. Ugh. What happens if you get off the elevator early? Okay, so getting off at any of the floors other than the one that you see me get off at will result in you being taken back to a level you have previously beat, and then you'll have to beat it again. Like, one of those doors can easily take you back to the drawbridge level at the very beginning of the game. Enjoy replaying the whole game as you pick the wrong door, and there's no way to know which the right one is unless you experiment, so that's really cheap. But yeah, in case you thought, like, you know, there was, like, other levels or something I wasn't doing, that's not the case, and I screwed that up. I got so excited that I jumped, but no, you can't anticipate that one. But as long as I can get that extra life again, there's no loss, so fingers crossed we can do that. But you got to get that gold for the high score, right? Like, I mean, I think that's what the game expects you to do if you care about high score. Just keep replaying the same levels over and over again. No thank you. No thank you. Nah. You thought it was just the drawbridge? No, it will take you back to any of the levels that you've previously been to. Which is just a really silly design choice. But, I mean, that's how they, artificially stretched the game out. In case it wasn't tough enough to make you replay it, they were going to make sure that there was doors that literally made you replay it. Yeah, NES games do some questionable things sometimes. I think I mentioned this in another stream, but Ocean games made by the company Ocean, are particularly bad for having doors that will just lead to instant death. And there's no way before you go in them that you would know that. And you have to go into doors sometimes to get items required to beat the game. So the fact that some of them will just instantly kill you is a really big jerk move. But I guess they figured, we'll put these in and then the kid will have to play it again. It's just a really, really, really mean design choice. Pretty much like putting that dagger block right by the end of this game. Like, that's just unneeded cruelty after everything that you've already gone through. Okay, don't jump. Now we jump. Nope. That's just such a weird one to time, because I always think it's going to be faster than it is, so I jumped too early. Perfect. And you know, as evil as this game is, it could be more evil. Like the fact that they even give you 1-ups at all is very nice. There are so many games out there that's just like 1-ups don't exist. You get 3 lives to beat the whole game. Good luck. So, you know, this game could be worse, all things considered. Especially respawning 1-ups. Like any game where 1-ups come back every time you die, those are super generous. In the original Super Mario Brothers, 1-ups that are inside of brick blocks will come back, but not the invisible blocks, so, you know, it's like half generous, I guess. Of course, I think there's only 2 in the original Super Mario Brothers that are in brick blocks, in 1-2 and 8-2. With all the dash 1s having invisible ones. Alright, alright. Checkpoint. Very good. Don't forget about the axe here. It will make your life much easier later on, should you make it farther. Which isn't, you know, it's easier said than done for sure. Okay, hopefully that's a good distance. And let's just keep track of this guy. Wait till he throws nothing and then count 6 from there. I found like sometimes when he spawns on screen, he only shoots 5 before it starts again. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Big jump. This part, peas show up. Oh no! Didn't position myself properly there, and now we're paying the price for it. Fortunately, there's no more 1-ups from this point. So, 5 it is. Oh, okay. That was not how I normally do that, but I'll take it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one, it's like, ugh, right there. Alright, boss time! Can we get to the safe spot? Alright. So far this run's better than the last run, which is something you always like to see. And look at that odd palette glitch. And gotta be on your toes this time because the first exit is the one you want. There we go. And we've all seen this song and dance before with these annoying dragon guys. And it all can mean nothing if you accidentally get the dagger at the end. But let's hope we don't. I would just like to get a few consistent tries on the final boss. That's all I ask. It doesn't feel like it should be that much to ask, but it is. No Lizard King guy yet. Weird. Like, sometimes he shows up like every 3 seconds, and then this time he's not showing up at all. And usually when I mention it, then he starts showing up, so I was kind of surprised that it didn't do anything. Ugh, I jumped really close to the edge there. Okay. I had the system figured out. I had it. I had the whole science worked out. You saw me jotting it all down. Like, from here, right? I don't know. That might be too close. Nope. Nope. Too far. Now all these lives that we have mean absolutely nothing. Oh my goodness. I mean, we'll try, but like, that's just terrible. It's just terrible that they put that there and it just ruins everything. So I guess it was supposed to be one closer. I had it right the first time and I said, nope, that's not right. And I just destroyed myself. We'll try. We'll try a few times. I will science the heck out of that last jump there. And maybe we'll have to do one more run through the game. Just one more run. See how many daggers it takes to defeat those guys, though? If you don't have the axes, it's just terrible. It's just absolutely terrible. And then to have to fight these guys while you're trying to fight the final boss, it's impossible. If they take so many hits. Oh, here's this guy. Just take my money. I don't want it. Like, see, just way too many hits. I do want to get back to that part one more time just to make sure I understand what we're doing during the next attempt, which will be the last one. This should have been it. Like, oh, so close. But that silly block. If not for that, there's no way we'd still be playing by this point. We would have been done, done so long ago. But that darn dagger block. And if only there was a way to get the axe back. You know, if I could at least get the axe back and then try this jump again. Okay, so where should our heal be? Our heal should be... like there, right? Like, it's perfectly lined up with that brick. Exactly. Fry for future. Take my money. That's pretty much what that guy's doing. Okay. So heal perfectly lined up with that. That has to be it. Next time we'll get it. Alright. Alright, so here we are. So heal lined up with this block? Like that, right? Like, that's not so hard. And then, if I had the axe, this guy'd be easy to kill. I still managed it. Let's do it again. Heal perfectly lined up with that block. Press select to pause. B and right at the exact same time. Select again to pause. B and right, hold down B this time. Like, I got it, man. I've got it figured out, but I screwed up that one. Remember, heal lined up with brick. Heal lined up with brick. No. I had a chance if he... When the little dragon comes out, it's like... You have to put all of your attention into defeating it. Because if not, it's going to approach you, and then one touch from him and you're dead. And the best way to be able to attack him is if the big dragon shoots upwards, so you can just duck and just kind of, you know, lay it all on the little one. But that doesn't happen, unfortunately. And, like... There's a little bit more leeway if you have the axes because they're more powerful. You only need to get 2 hits on them instead of 4. So if there's a brief moment when you can't, you know, deal damage to it, it's not nearly as punishing. Like, I've got that so down now. I've got it. We've got it. Next run is definitely the victory run. It's definitely it. Like, look at that flawless playing, now that it doesn't matter. Of course, when it doesn't matter, I'm so good at it. Darn it. And see, you can only attack him when he shoots low. But he's not shooting low, so it's like, what am I supposed to do, right? I have no idea how many hits this guy takes, but probably way too many. See, I got a few good hits in with the daggers, but it's just not enough to defeat him before he gets close to you. If it was the axes, it probably would have been great. Okay. Okay. The score is getting better. I don't care at all about the score. But it is getting better. I think we have to do with the science done. The science, at this point, it's not like some science out there. This science is never going to change, ever. And we're definitely going to get this done next try because it's just so close. So hang with me for one moment. We're going to take a brief intermission. And we'll be right back. Alright, and we're back. Thank you for your patience there. This has to be the final run. Like, we've come too far to stop now. Like, way too far. After everything we've figured out. I think, that darn D power-up at the end there. It's just like the last thing that we had to figure out. The boss, I don't think once we have axes at it, will be too bad. Especially if we can, like, consistently get back to it and get a few good tries at it. I think that makes a big difference. Now, let me just make sure. I'm pretty sure everything's good here with the recording. Now, please, if you're in the comments, make sure, let me know if everything sounds and looks good, but I think we're good to go. But yeah, this should be a very just kind of nice run back to the end here. Hopefully without too much trouble. And this is going to be it. This is going to be the winning run. I can feel it. I can feel it in Danger Dirk's, like, arthritis-ridden ankles here. Things sound good and look good. Thank you for letting me know there. So one funny thing that that happened back in like May of last year, I was playing Crash Bandicoot 4 on the Switch, and I think I broke my toe. I was looking, it was the first level of the second world. There was 2 crates I couldn't find. If you've played Crash Bandicoot 4, you know which 2 crates I'm talking about. There's just 2 really well hidden ones, which I did eventually find, but I don't think on this run through. I found them like a little bit later. And it was like late at night. I was just about to go to bed. I was just doing a few more runs of the level. And I was kind of lounged back on the couch. And I had my foot, just the toes of my left foot, on this hassock thing. And I guess I somehow bent my big toe in a way I shouldn't have. I didn't even realize I did it. I didn't feel anything. And just all of a sudden I got this massive pain in my left toe, which I must have broken it. Because it was in so much pain like all night. And it was like red and swollen. Like I have no idea just what happened to it. But yeah, Crash Bandicoot 4 broke my toe somehow. And it kind of hurt quite a bit ever since. And that was like May of 2021 that happened. Back when Crash Bandicoot 4 came out for the Switch. And yeah, so it had hurt for quite a while. And just as of a few days ago, it like really hurt again. So like it was a kind of like a lingering pain all that time. But a few days ago, like it really hurt again. I was like, oh my god, that's it. Like I've really hurt it now. It's done. This is my life now, living with toe pain forever. And then after that, it went numb for a couple of days, and then the pain is just completely gone. So I don't know if like something was like a little bit dislocated or what. But my toe finally healed, and thus the Crash Bandicoot 4 toe caper has been put to a close. But it's just weird, so Crash Bandicoot 4, don't play it. It's bad for your health. It happened, another thing that happened, it was Christmas of 2020. I was playing Santa, which means like you take the presents from under the tree and hand them out to people. And I grabbed one of the gifts, and I had my left hand planted on the ground. And I did like an awkward turn, and I twisted my left elbow, and it hurt for like months. And I was like, well, there you go, another thing I destroyed, but that ended up healing up too. So take good care of your body, and, eat healthy, and hopefully things will heal up. And I'm probably gonna lose a life here too. I forgot to get the energy. Ah, telling these old-timey stories and forgetting how to play the video games. Regardless, we got this. Don't we have free healthcare? But what would I have done? I mean, I'm someone who, if I've ever broken a bone, I'm not even sure I have. I just let things heal. And free healthcare in Canada means waiting like 6 months before anything gets done about it. That's the thing. It's free, but it is slow. And it is literal, like, people will sometimes die waiting for their healthcare because it takes so long to get it sometimes. So it has its ups and downs for sure. But in my case, I've always just kind of been a take care of myself type person. And if I feel pain, I try to deal with it myself. Unless obviously it's like my arm was turned backwards or something, which it wasn't. But yeah, I've never been much of a like run to the doctor type person. Always kind of try to do my own home remedies. Dr. Andrew Nick Riviera's home healthcare. Andrew's going to find himself on the floor and not question it. Dragon's Lair killed me. Alright, halfway there. Of course it's the easier half, but it still feels nice to say it. And this time it's the third door. Can you imagine if I accidentally took the wrong door and it's like, oh, playing that level again? I have considered the possibility of like replaying a level many times to get many extra lives. But I feel like the point would come when I would get so like just sick of it that I would start playing sloppy, as you know happens, and then I would end up in a life deficit. But it is a thing to keep in mind. Because that level that I just beat isn't that hard. And if I really, really wanted to, I could do that. Like, look at the life counter. It has a 0 in the tens digit. I don't think there are enough extra lives in the game, you know, if you just play each level once to ever get, you know, above 0.9. I think the most we've seen is like 0.8. You know, in other words, 8 lives. But that is a strategy. You know, it never hurts to employ a strategy like that. Replay a level to build up lives, but this game is so slow. Obviously, you know, by the time you build up all those lives, it'd probably be faster to just replay the game like we have been, so that's why I haven't thought too much about that strategy. There we go, back up to 5, which is always nice to see. Alright, I'm getting better at that part. It's always good to see. No, no, no. Accidentally pressed up. That could have been disastrous. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Ugh. Something was going to get me there. It was okay. 5 lives to beat the game. Let's do it. Alright, let's count this. Wait for the gap, and then count the 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The nice thing is that, like, these are always lined up properly. So many NES games would be like, well, I loaded them on screen at the wrong time, and now they're, you know, misaligned, and it's impossible or something like that. Like, they always line up the way they should, which is really, really appreciated. And here's this last dumb part. Wow. Okay. Now, don't screw up the hand part here. Perfect. Boom. Okay, 5 lives to tackle the last level. Congrats on finishing your timestamping there. Timestamping can definitely be time consuming. Alright. We got the axes. We've got the knowledge is power to make that final jump. Let's give it our all. I don't know why I'm getting the G, but I did it anyway. The eggs hatch when, like, you're just close enough, so it's awkward sometimes getting into the right position for that. And then you always, like, just want to run as far to the left as possible, because they can get up on you so fast. So one thing I saw recently was that Bill and Ted's Excellent Video Game Adventure for the NES got a limited run games re-release for some reason. It's just such a random game to pick. It's not the worst game I've ever played. And I've actually beaten it. But it's definitely not a game I would choose to, like, bring back in the modern day. What are the chances you think this gets a re-release from limited run games? Seems like they'll do anything these days if they'll do Bill and Ted, I guess. I know people are, you know, having issue with limited run games lately. What was once meant to be just like a place to, you know, buy physical copies of digital-only games, it's, you know, become more corporatized as everything unfortunately does these days. I guess it was inevitable. Alright, is this the jump of doom? I think it is. Not this jump. This jump. So we get our legs heel into position. And really, this guy now? Okay. You know, I don't care about that. I don't care if I die, as long as I don't touch that darn block. I'm good. I'm good. That means we still have the axes, we can still try again. Okay, so like, I don't understand why I didn't do it right last time. My heal was here, which is, oh, because I accidentally moved forward. It's still so awkward timing this properly. Okay, very good. Very good. I lost all my money. Whatever. We gotta do this really bad jump again. Okay. Nope. No. Like, I had it all perfect, but he took a little bit of a step forward before he jumped, and just that one pixel caused me to pick up the thing. Wow. That's crazy. Like, we'll still try, but... It's like everything has to be perfect. It's already hard enough to get it to work perfectly, you know, when you have the axes. But it's even worse when you have the daggers. But who knows? Maybe we'll figure out a secret or something that will help us. Restart. Yeah, exactly. Right, Christian? I'm so close. I can't give up now. This stream's going all night, baby. No, I hope not. I really hope it does not take that long. But like I had it, man. I had it. Like, see, it's not that hard. It's not. Like, is there an easier way to dodge these dragon guys? I don't know. Doesn't seem like it. I'm so... Thank you, Christian. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And don't feel like you're obligated to stick around. I would totally understand if you have, you know, other things to do tonight. But I appreciate everyone who's, you know, checking out the stream. Thank you. This is unfortunately how retro games go sometimes. It's just why I kind of hate, you know, dragging everyone into this mess. When it's like, you know, you know, when I'm just playing the game on my own, it's like I can deal with this kind of thing, but I hate, you know, having to put other people through it as well. Like, see, what happened was, like, it's not that hard. But he just took a little bit of a step forward. I guess I pressed left just a little bit before the B button, or sorry, right just a little bit before the B button or something. And then the whole run is ruined. Like, how many hits do you think this guy takes? It'd be nice if he took, like, 2. Okay. So far, so good. Okay. Okay. I'll take it. Wait, what killed me? What killed me? See, I don't even know. I don't even know what the heck's going on. There's so much going on screen. I don't know if I even... I'm gonna look at the... There's a little bit of a delay. I'm looking at the stream right now. What even killed me? What even killed me? I don't even see it. I do not see what just killed me. Ugh, and that was such a good run. So maybe it is possible. Maybe with the daggers, it's just barely possible. But can you imagine if I had the axes? Like, maybe that would have been a victory run. Who knows, right? If I'm doing twice as much damage, like, you just don't know. Ugh. That's probably what it was. It was probably the fire from the little dragon, even though it, like, wasn't appearing on screen. And why does everything have to be instant kill? I can understand if the attack from the boss is insta kill, fine. But the attack from these little guys does not also have to be insta kill. Oops. I thought that was enough hits. And that's the end of that run. I'm so close. I can't call it a night after that. Oh no, our high scores are getting worse. Oh well. So, does anybody have any Pizza Huts in their area that still have an eat-in option? All the Pizza Huts in my area that used to have like buffets and, you know, a sit-in restaurant before the whole debacle happened, they've all closed and have now gone to takeout only. And they've actually, like, in the most cases, like, closed down the restaurants that they used to be in and have moved into just like little, you know, units in a mall kind of thing for people to pick up their takeout. Does anyone still have an eat-in Pizza Hut around? Or is it just Canada that's gotten rid of all the, you know, the eat-in ones? Because I used to love going to the Pizza Hut buffet. That was awesome. It used to be tradition after high school exams. All of our, you know, me and all my friends would get together and we'd go do the Pizza Hut buffet. Always a lot of fun. Not where you are, huh? Yeah, it's a shame that so many things that kind of, you know, closed down in the last couple of years. But, I mean, I guess it makes sense. After everything. To be fair, in my adult life, I really don't go to restaurants anymore. Red Robin. I love Red Robin, but it's one of those things that you guys only have down in the US. Canada's restaurants suck. I love Golden Corral, too. One time, my family and we drove down across the US border, like, just to go to Golden Corral for fun for the day. And the border guard's like, where are you going? And we're like, Golden Corral. We're like, well, if you're going to the US, you should at least go to a good restaurant. We're like, to us, Golden Corral's awesome, because we don't have it. But yeah, of course, haven't unfortunately been able to do that lately. But yeah, you guys have a whole bunch of cool stuff. Personally, I'm not much of like a fancy restaurant guy. Just give me, again, like you said, Golden Corral, you know, Red Robin, or how about Olive Garden? That's like the fanciest I get is Olive Garden, and we don't have those in Canada either. So you gotta sneak down to the US to get into those as well. Olive Garden's awesome. Just give me that soup and all you can eat breadsticks, and I am happy. Yeah, going out to dinner is awesome. Of course, you know, it wasn't possible for a while there, but hopefully we're past that. You think I'm all a few cities over from you, FX Kid. Or Cool FX Kid has a Eden Pizza Hut still. Very cool. And thanks for joining us tonight. Olive Garden is wannabe Italian? Well, good enough for me. I've been to Italy and have eaten in like real Italian restaurants, and they weren't my favorite. Their salad is like literally they just went and like picked something from the garden and put like olive oil on it. There's no flavor, and I apologize. I probably just lost all my subscribers. You're all Italians probably. Mamma mia. But yeah, it wasn't my favorite salad. That's what I get for dissing Italian salad. What do we have other than Tim Hortons? We have McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's. And, like, that's it. Now, we have, like, we've been talking about Pizza Hut. We have a lot of the fast food chains. Like, not the ones that you typically sit down in. So, like, that's why Olive Garden's a sit-down restaurant. We don't have Outback anymore. We did, but I guess they figured Canadians, weren't going to it enough or something. So we lost our Outback privileges. We lost our Olive Garden privileges. That's why we don't have Red Robin. But, like, the fast foodier stuff, we have Wendy's, Subway, McDonald's, Burger King. Stuff like that. We don't have Papa John. Oh, actually, that's a lie. We got, like, our first Papa John's not too long ago. And fast food restaurants from the US are slowly coming up here. Like, I think we just got our first Chick-fil-A not too long ago. So, like, a couple of things like that are happening. But yeah, as someone who used to travel across the US a lot before, the dark times, I love your fast food. I mean, that's it, right? Like, that's the whole point of these chain restaurants. Is like, I'm not Italian, but I can go to Olive Garden and enjoy Italian, and can go to a French restaurant and enjoy French and French food, stuff like that. Like, one of the best restaurants in Japan, there was this chain called Vie de France, and it was like, you go in and I think that's the first time I've died in the elevator section. Whoops. Again, talking about French restaurants, I guess, sent me over the edge. I think it starts again from the top, so that should still be, like, door one. And it was great. Like, just go, like, pick your own, like, buns and stuff and heat them up in this toaster oven. And I'm not sure exactly how French it was, but it was awesome. And it clearly was pretending to be French. So, that's good. It's not too bad. But yeah, I mean, who doesn't love trying foods from other cultures, even if it's like the fake version? You got Tim Hortons was starting in Canada, but now there's a few in the northeastern states. Yes. Yeah, it's not a Canadian company anymore. Tim Hortons was bought by, like, the same Brazilian company that owns Burger King. So now they pop up in a few other places as well. I'm shocked I made that jump. That axe went right through that guy. Oh no, this is way too far. I can't even make this jump. Let me just check out the comments here for a sec. What do I typically get at McDonald's? I usually switch between the Big Mac and the Quarter Pounder, which is like super boring. It's like the most boring thing you can get at McDonald's. Every once in a while, they'll have like a promotion where it's like the barbecue burger or something, and I'll try that sort of thing out. But I feel like the menu in the U.S., like even if a restaurant is in Canada and the U.S., usually you guys have a better menu too. Our selection is usually not as good. So usually if I'm like in the US, I'll try something that, you know, not normally on our menu. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoa, that does not normally happen. Normally I make that jump just fine. Really? Is this how this run falls apart by silly things like that don't even normally happen? Like, I feel like I was punished there for actually playing pretty well. I guess I gotta get this guy a little bit higher, but can't get him too up there or you don't reach. That would have been a great one, but he shot at me at the same time. Okay, so we'll see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, worked that time. Oh, I was sure I was going to be too close. It's like literally taking his nose off, pretty much. Alright, last hole. That's such a silly gap there. No, what am I doing? You hold right. You hold right here. I haven't had to do this part from the checkpoint in a while, but you just hold right, and then you can get to here no problem. And then you don't get on it this time, you get on it the next time. It's funny how this part feels different. I was just like got stuck in a, sliver-sized gap there. Yeah, but it's funny how this part feels different depending on if you get here with the checkpoint or not. Wow. Like, what is the timing on that? What is the timing? I don't normally... I mean, I do always have a little bit of trouble with this part. But this is just sad. I don't get it. I don't get what I did wrong there. Don't you think it's weird to have a Subway with a drive-thru? I can't think of a single Subway around where I am that has a drive-thru. They're typically all you have to go in order. Is that a thing in the US? Subways with drive-thrus? Usually when I go to the US, I don't eat Subway because it's like, I'm trying out all your other places that we don't have up here. Although I have had Subway a few times down there. Once in... Oh, yeah, one time. So in San Francisco, I had Subway. And... they just put salt and pepper on it without me asking for it. I was like, what are you doing to my sub? You just destroyed my sub. Because that's like, I guess it's just something that they do to all subs on like the West Coast or something like that. But not up here. Up here, it's like if you don't ask for it, they won't put it on. But they just like put it on even without me asking for it over there. And it's like, well, I guess my sub's got salt and pepper on it now. Which I thought was kind of weird. So West Coast guys, super weird. Don't normally get crushed by that either. Ugh. It's one of those situations where it's like, we're getting killed by the stupid things now instead of getting to the end again. But we will persevere. We are so close. They never put salt and pepper on yours. It's just the Cali thing. I know you're on the West Coast. I was just messing with you. But yeah, maybe there's just like a San Francisco. Who knows what they're up to over there? Could have just been like the person making the sub that day too. I have a tendency to like to get the guy who's like his first day, making your burger, making your sub. It's like, oh boy. I mean, I assume that fast food restaurants have probably a pretty big turnover, so it's probably not that hard to get like someone on their first day. Another thing that you guys have on the West Coast is In-N-Out Burger, and that is awesome. When I was over there, In-N-Out was so much fun to have when I was going around California. Another thing I like in the US is Hardee's slash darn it, what's the other name for Hardee's? Carl's Jr. is really good. There's actually a Carl's Jr. in Akihabara I had last time I was there. I don't know why. It's like I had Moss Burger, which was like on one side of the street, and then like Carl's Jr. was on the other. I was like, I gotta get my fill of like North American cuisine. It's just funny like trying a chain that you're familiar with in another country. And it was good. I was gonna say I've never had a burger I didn't like, but that's a lie. One time, at the Grand Canyon, we had a trailer. We used to pull around the U.S. And we were staying at a trailer park near the Grand Canyon, and there was like this cookout thing with like these, with like some country music and stuff. And there was a trailer there serving food, and I had a hamburger out of it. And I was a kid, and I didn't realize that you don't eat pink hamburgers. Well, I ate it, and I threw up all night. So yeah. Don't eat pink hamburgers. And that's like my memory of the Grand Canyon. Whenever I think of the Grand Canyon, I think I ate that pink burger and I vomited all night. That's my Grand Canyon memory. Let me see here. Yeah, thank you, Christian. I think we're good. You really want to try McDonald's in Japan? Yeah, I definitely tried it. I had a teriyaki burger in Japan from McDonald's. Oh, that was good. That was good. Like, why don't they have that everywhere? If they had that here, I would buy that every time. It was awesome. Subway in your country, CoolFX Kid, has one of your favorite exclusive menu items called Grilled Cheese Town. Grilled Cheese Tone. Cool. Oh, toothy. I have no idea. I mean, like, I can imagine the grilled cheese. That sounds like it'd be awesome. We have, like, a meatball sub here. That might not be, a thing you find in other continents' subways. I went to a Subway in Japan now that, we had this conversation. I kind of actually forgot about that. Of all the other things I've eaten in my time in Japan, Subway was one of the ones I forgot about. And that Subway had like shredded carrots you could put on top of your sub, and that's not something that they have in Canada. So I was like, interesting. I read a really sad news story recently that the 100 yen, sushi shops are gonna have to reduce the amount of like 100 yen items that they have due to raising prices, and that's a shame. Is kaiten sushi, like when the sushi goes around on the conveyor belt? I mean, yeah, so conveyor belt sushi. Yeah, doing that in Japan is so fun. So to hear that the prices for that are going up are sad. Not that it's really possible to travel to Japan now anyway. All of my efforts to work over there ended in futility, unfortunately, due to restrictions happening, and Japan somehow has like the most COVID cases in the world right now, despite the fact that they were the most wearing masks and all that all the time. It's craziness out there. Nothing makes any sense. So yeah, who knows when I'll ever get back to Japan to even get to eat sushi, but hopefully like 30 years from now when it's possible, things are good. You definitely want to try McDonald's in other countries. Yeah, it's fun trying chains that you're familiar with in other countries, which on one hand it feels like kind of a shame, because it's like, I could go eat at some authentic restaurant from the country that I'm in, but instead I'm eating at McDonald's. But it's fun to try. It's fun to experience what different menu items they might have. And I can definitely say that like McDonald's in Japan definitely has a few things you won't be familiar with if you ever get the chance to try it out. Oh, you're going to bed. Thank you. Thanks for sticking around with the stream for as long as we did. Sorry this is taking so long. I appreciate everyone who, has watched, is still watching. Don't feel like, you can't sleep because I'm playing this game. Who knows how many more tries it will take. Hopefully this is the last one. Fingers crossed. But yes, I will definitely check out what you sent. Thank you. Hope you have a great night. Grilled cheese. Oh, grilled cheese toasty. Yes. And I don't want to ask like, where are you located? It's like the worst question you can ask on the internet. But I'm very curious, like what kind of regional thing that would be. Because I want to go there and try that. I bet that would be awesome. Actually, I could probably just Google it. Google knows all, kind of. You're amazed that when I think of Pizza Hut, I didn't think of the pizza incident. Well, I thought of it. Don't you worry. I know I am guilty for that Pizza Hut shutting down. And it quite possibly caused the chain reaction and is the reason why all the other Pizza Huts are closing, so I apologize. I greatly apologize for that. And should the opportunity arise here, I will tell the Pizza Hut story. Because it probably has been a while since I've told that. It blows my mind sometimes to think about how, I've told these stories so many years ago. Where does the time go? Like, I think I first told my toilet story. Actually, no, yeah, that was the Pizza Hut story. During a live stream that Miles Luigi did back in, like, 2013. It's like, has it really been that long? That's perfect position. Okay, let's count this guy down. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very good. Oh, like, see, why? There was not a big enough gap there that he should have fallen through. And now we're stuck in this terrible place again. Like, no reason for that either. And you can't jump because it's just so slow. There's no way that jumping works here. I'm convinced it doesn't work here. Maybe it does. I'll try jumping. Just to, Oh no, it's right. I have to keep walking with it too. Ugh, they don't make it easy. So not this time. But this time. Okay, jumping works. I take it back. It barely worked. Like, I was like a pixel away from being nailed by that guy. But it worked. And this is definitely a good position. Oh, finally. So we gotta get to the first door. All right. Comment time. And then here we go. From New Zealand. Wow. Okay, cool. If I ever get over there, I will definitely eat a grilled cheese toasty at Subway. Very light pink in your meat. Very little. That's right. I'm usually like a medium rare person when it comes to meat, but I was a kid and I don't know what's like, you know, some guy serving hamburgers out of like a trailer, right? The outside probably, I mean, the outside did look good, but the inside definitely was not cooked. KFC. Oh, KFC is great. KFC, I had KFC in Japan. Yeah, KFC is probably good no matter where you eat it. You wonder what you're going to eat with all the talk of food, Christian. I'm sure you have probably some good options. Major fast food places taste so much better in other countries. I thought you know of. Yeah, it's fun. Like, you know, I'll never understand fancy restaurants. It's like you pay like $1 million for like this little thing on the middle of the plate, and it's like, oh, you know, it's elegant. You know, it's fancy cuisine. $50 for like something that you have to eat 5 of to fill you. Just give me fast food any day. One thing I did try when I was in Japan was there was a Wolfgang Puck Express. Now, whoa. Wolfgang Puck. Now we're talking like Andrew is just, you know, the the top of society now. Oh, yes. Wolfgang Puck. And it's like it was just like a silly thing. It's like, you know, Wolfgang Puck's this like famous chef guy, and he has this restaurant in Japan. It's like, oh, we're gonna try it just for a laugh. And it was like just a bowl of pasta. It wasn't any big deal. And then this guy starts smoking in the corner. It's like, oh, that's right. You can smoke in some Japanese restaurants. So my memory of Wolfgang Puck's restaurant is always when this guy started smoking, and that's like all I tasted while I ate. Alright, here we go. I think this is the Jump of Doom? It is. I don't want to do the Jump of Doom. Oh, everything always goes wrong. I need a minute to recuperate. I will read some comments while I get my mind in the game. Try one KFC the first time you ever had it delivered. It was horrible. That's interesting. That reminds me of a story. There is a town in the U.S. called Effingham. Like Effingham. It's called Effingham. It's hilarious. The name is awesome. And it had the last all-you-can-eat KFC buffet I've ever seen. Those are so uncommon now. according to my dad, they used to be like everywhere back in the day. But you know, a lot of KFCs got rid of it. But like, it still had it. It still had it. And the inside of the restaurant was like disgusting. It was awful. But it's like you just had to have the KFC buffet because it's like you're never gonna find another one. So that's my story of the last time I ate the KFC buffet in a town called Effingham. Oh, Aussie. So if you're far away from New Zealand, Australia has it too. Noted if I ever get to either of those places. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Here it is. Here it is. Ugh. Like, that doesn't feel right. I don't feel properly positioned. So I'm gonna get off this platform and try again. Like, that's not right. His heel's not aligned with that brick like it's supposed to be. What am I doing wrong? That's still not aligned. That's still not aligned. Is it because... I wonder if, like, you start in a different position at the beginning of the level and at the checkpoint. So maybe the trick is to start from the checkpoint. So we're going to try that. And I'll be properly lined up now. I could see something silly like that being the case. It would not even surprise me. I didn't get close enough to open that one. Will my heel now be lined up with that brick? Yes! Okay, so maybe that was the trick. Okay. Okay, interesting. Okay, okay. We are going to get a final boss attempt with axes. Alright, everyone, buckle in. Here we go. Here we go. The beginning of the boss fight is kinda luck. Because the little dragon comes out, and you have to defeat that before it gets too close to you. But sometimes when the boss fight first starts, he only shoots low. And when he shoots low, you don't have any chance to kneel down and defeat the little dragon. So there's definitely a luck-based element to this boss fight as well, just in case it wasn't ridiculous enough. Alright. Here we go. Down again? Okay. Yes. Shoot. Oh. Like he was coming at me. I had to defeat him somehow. That was such a good run though. What a good run that was. See, the power of having axes makes all the difference. That really gets your heart rate going too. Whew. No, I'm not lined up properly again. Is that good? I think that's good. Look at that. We actually have some consistency in getting back to the final boss. Can you believe it? I can't. Thank you for starting with an upward shot, followed by a downwards one. Very nice. I think that's a downwards one. No, I almost jumped. That's a downwards one. Is that an upwards one? Very good. Is that down? Nope. That's down. Did I do? Wow. 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 That's amazing. I cannot believe I did it. It all came down to figuring out that darn dagger power-up at the end. Ugh. Give me 1 second here. Just wow. Wow. Thank you, Christian. Thank you. Here's the AVGN video. Thank you so much for linking that to me. Just let me get the microphone back here. I'm just taking photos. It's like I'm gonna frame this. Wow. And I got that on stream, right? I got that on stream. Now anyone who like denies that, you know, I'm pretty okay at video games, I can send this stream to. DMV Shooter. Thank you so much. I hope that you saw that. I hope you saw that. Let's press a button. What happens when we press a button? Does that mean I didn't even make the high scores? That's it? That's it. We beat the whole game for a crappy one screen congratulations. But we did it, darn it. We did it. And that's what's important. It's not about the end. It's not about the whatever happens after that. It's about the journey, man. It's about the adventure we went on to get here. It took almost 4 hours. 4 hours! And we had to analyze literal pixels to figure out where to jump from. But we did it! We did it! And I'm probably one of like the very few people in the world who has actually spent the time to beat this game. And I'm gonna be proud of that, darn it. Even though I probably shouldn't be. Oh. Thank you all. Thank you all. Derek, thank you for joining in. This stream has had like a nice little, consistent viewer base. I really appreciate that. I didn't know how many people would be interested in this game. I also didn't know if I would actually end up beating it on stream, which would have been really sad if it wasn't the case. But, I can rest happy now knowing that there is a victory run at the end. And I'm just so happy that, everyone enjoyed it. Thank you so much for sticking around. That's insane. Like, but it always comes back to me, like, I have played a lot of NES games that's, you play it for the first little bit and it's like, this is impossible. Like, I could play this game probably forever and I would never beat it. And then you practice it a little longer and it's like, okay, I'm kind of getting the hang of it now. Maybe it's not as impossible as I thought. And then I got to that final boss and I was like, okay, no, it is impossible. And I kept trying it and, I did it. And you can too. Maybe not this particular game, but don't give up. Don't give up. That's the lesson that I hope to, bestow upon you all tonight. Speedrun? No. I will now go and investigate, what speedruns look like. I'd be very curious to see that. There's probably some really weird speedruns of this game. And, there's probably techniques and stuff I didn't even imagine. I'll be very curious to see what other people do, but with that, I probably won't take up too much more of your time. This stream's wrapping up pretty much right around 4 hours long. And just thank you all so much for joining in. I know I don't, post too much these days or stream too much these days, but it's really, really, really nice to see that. When I do, people still come around and I really appreciate it. And it's always so nice to hear from you all. Don't be afraid to comment or email or whatever. I'm always happy to answer that sort of thing. And yeah, just thank you for watching this absurd game. And perhaps, next time I'm playing some absurd NES game and think I'm almost beaten it, we shall stream again. But with that, I think I'll let you all go. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you all have excellent evenings and take care and hope to see you all again soon. Bye for now.